just so real. Already know exactly how you feel. See the head and I like seeing a steeple. You damn well know they're one of the people. Nobody breaks us, 'cause nobody made us. And no one can take this 'cause we got their fix. We are the people, we are the people, we are the people. Don't mess with this.
Oh, yeah. It is Friday. Patrick and the people, man.
Yes, sir.
Let me just right off the bat.
What?
That's from yesterday, man. I have to tell you. Man, for those out there who tuned in yesterday, you don't even know the half of it, man. It's the worst. It was the fucking worst, man.
We were all talking in group chat yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I leave for one day. And you all just don't have a show, lose your minds, go. It was one day, man.
No, man, it's much worse, you know, because it's not like that there was any technical issue.
Right.
As far as, you know, our ability to broadcast. As a matter of fact, the craziest thing about it, and you already know this, is that I had two people come in, Jay Sorsby and Julio Gonzalez, a couple of very good friends of mine.
Right.
And, man, we were having a hell of a show. Then I did an interview live with a hell of an opportunity to interview these people who I like very much. And then at some point right after that, I look up and I'm like, hey, why doesn't it look like we're live?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
2 hours in.
Oh, no.
We're not live. Man, if I could tell you how I felt in that moment.
I bet,
oh,
man.
Oh, my God.
I bet.
Yeah, I didn't know whether to shit or go blind.
And I was the one that woke up to all the messages like, is everything okay? Is there a show today?
Well, you know, just nobody texted, nobody called me, you know, I just didn't know. You know, there was a miscommunication in our chat, you know, no big deal, but it was just one of those things where you go,
yeah.
man, you know, that was such a good day. It was such a good show that no one will ever see.
It'll live on in the banks of your memory until dementia.
Yeah, probably so. How's everything with you, man?
Man, it is great. We had the first ever coaches and play calls interview at Ouachita Bar and Grill yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on,
I want to talk about that for sure.
Man, just gearing up. You got the Wise guys returning to home this Saturday.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting ready for the weekend, man.
Oh, yeah, man. That's exciting, man. That's very exciting. Yeah, Tasha said we all suffered. You know, I'm sure you did. I wish you could have seen the show that I gave you yesterday. It went into the ether. It never left this room. You know, and after you bring your friends in, you know, who aren't the normal co-hosts, they don't do this all the time, you know, so they're taking time out.
Right.
They're on their days off.
They're doing you a favor, man.
They're doing me a solid, and at the end to go, guys, real sorry we weren't even broadcasting.
Y'all, that was just for fun.
Thanks for the rehearsal.
Right.
God.
We just needed to test how all of our equipment works. That's it.
No, that's it. We're just testing it out.
This is your monthly podcast equipment test.
Andy's-
Had this been an actual podcast,
Right.
you would have been entertained.
Andy said he was pissed all morning. I believe it. I was too. After that, when I figured it out, I was pissed the rest of the day. Does that count? I finally got over myself. You know, I was like, well, shit happens. You know, you got to accept it.
Right.
I was not any happy in the moment when I found out. It was like being just slapped out of a sleep. You know, it's like, oh, shit.
I know, man. There was,
Well, anyway, we survived.
We'll make up for it. And we're going to reschedule the interview. I don't know if you want to say who it was with or you want to just hold that in the bag until they come back.
No, we can say that.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah, so it was Cliff and Susan from the Pink
Piano. Yeah, Cliff and Susan. And they are the nicest, coolest people.
They are, man.
Yeah, they just won a lot of country music awards. Album of the Year, Duo of the Year. Was it Song of the Year, maybe, too?
I think so, yeah.
They were nominated for 4, and they won 3. But they are definitely coming back. And when they do this time, we're going to do a performance as well.
Nice.
So we're going to make it up to them in a big, big way, and to you guys also. What's up, Nick? How you doing, man? I am excited to have them back. They were great, and thanks again to Jason, Jay Sorsby, and Julio Gonzalez for coming in. And
it was so good not to see you.
Yeah. Right. Let's say.
Hey, happy birthday, baby Tom. That's Latasha's
baby Tom.
birthday, or son. So.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday.
He's a year old?
I guess so.
Well, how about that? Baby Tommy's first birthday.
I never understood the whole first-year-old
Tommy
thing.
Pickles. Isn't that the kid's name on Rugrats?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. He's named after Tommy from Rugrats.
Oh, okay.
Not Tom.
No.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to make that clear. All right, let's get into some news you can use here. And,
It was great, Brad. We'll talk about it in a little bit. So.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
A New York City-based artist is the center of an assault on a Southwest Airlines flight. Leanna Perry was intoxicated when she grabbed another passenger's hair and spat in her face. Video, of course, on TikTok shows the illustrator, who's worked for a lot of big brands, Steve Madden, Adidas, having some explosive episode as the airline employee tried to remove her from the plane at LaGuardia. She was cursing at the woman she was supposed to sit next to and yelled at her about being overweight. Not clear what the charge is or if she's facing any, but sounds like a bad look for her.
Right. Yeah.
Intoxicated and, fat shaming your seatmate. Now, I don't know what the seatmate did. Maybe she deserved it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But anyway.
Not how you want to make your name into the news.
It is. It's not the way to do it, no. Okay, let's see. Eminem's repeat stalker got slapped with a lengthy prison sentence. He was convicted of breaking into Eminem's home for a second time. Matthew Hughes sentenced to between 15 and 30 years for first-degree home invasion and 3 to 7.5 on aggravated stalking. They'll run consecutively, not concurrent. He first broke into Eminem's house back in 2020, said he was there to kill the rapper.
No.
Then he was arrested again in August of last year for being on his property. Yeah, that's got to be a little nerve-wracking, even if you're him.
Dude.
It's like, hey, player, what's going on, Stan?
Like, I don't understand. I don't get it, because this isn't, the first time that something like this has happened, that somebody's broke into a celebrity's home. But I got to ask myself, like, how much money does it take to be secure? Because Eminem's obviously got some pretty good money in the bank. You think he'd be able to afford, like, a few roaming security guards or something,
some Dobermans.
Right. Like.
You can get some Rottweilers or, some of those Boston Dynamics.
Right.
The lasers on them or shit. If you're Eminem.
Not that I have a lot of experience
Slim
breaking
Shady,
into houses. In fact, I think I have none. But if a dog showed up with a laser, dude.
Man, listen, if I was as rich as they are, you're not breaking into my house. No, I got steel things that go over the doors and windows when I leave, A North Carolina woman is suing her former workplace over claims a supervisor intimidated her with a Chucky doll. Yeah, she's suing Truist Bank, saying she suffers from a fear of dolls and was traumatized into needing treatment. The woman, who suffers from depression, anxiety, and for whatever reason it mentions autoimmune disease. Yeah, I have one of those too. Big deal. It says her bosses knew this at the time. She said the supervisor left the Chucky doll on her desk and was retaliated against after the incident. She's since been let go and is asking for an unspecified amount. Of course, Chucky is the murder doll from the Child Play movie.
Right.
So they put the Chucky doll on her desk. It sounds like one time. And this is what happened, and that sent her into regression?
Yeah.
What do you think? You think that's a little much?
Yeah. I think it sounds like what was probably a prank between a manager and employee or whatever. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm gonna leave this Chucky doll here and scare the shit out of her.
I mean, yeah, it seems like I used to scare my mom all the time. I used to pull.
Right.
Yeah, didn't you? Did you ever try that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why boys love to do that, but I would hide. Like at one time, I hid for like 10 minutes under a big pile of clothes she was folding, and then just jumped out.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought she would never stop being mad at me for that. I would take giant like rubber spiders and put them in the flour.
Oh, I was just always the jumper outer,
Yeah,
hide
oh,
behind
yeah.
a door, right
Okay.
down the steps.
Yeah.
As soon as they came in there, rah.
Yeah. Now,
Yep.
I did get some payback recently. Man, it was the weirdest thing. I guess, in a way, I guess it is funny, and I'm not mad now, but I was at the Circle K getting coffee, and, if you go in a convenience store, you're probably in your own head. Sometimes you look around at the other people, but probably you're in your own space. You're trying to hurry, and that's what I'm making the coffee. And it's one of those where you got to push the all the buttons and everything.
Right.
And so I'm focused on that. And now I've gone to the store. It's right by the studio, so I've been going there for months. So they know who I am. At least I'm a regular person who
Right.
comes in there. They
Right.
don't know what the hell I do. They just know I come in there all the time. And I'm sitting there working on this guy comes up behind me and just goes, "Hey!"
Oh,
Man, listen, I jumped almost out of my skin. And then he just started laughing. I'm just messing with you. I said, what is going on? Are you pranking the employee? I said, I hope you got a video out of that. If you're going to do that to me, you better damn well have content. That should be good content. You better put that somewhere.
my goodness, you didn't throw your coffee up in the air.
No,
and
that's what I
everything.
said. You're lucky I didn't scald that. Throw that on you, man.
See, my dad got his payback on me when I was younger.
Here, let me scare everybody real quick.
Yeah.
What? Hold on. What'd you say?
Oh, my dad, when I went through my scare phase of wanting
Yeah.
to scare, he pulled a great one on me.
What'd he do?
So, I came home from school one day, and of course, it was my job to wash the dishes, do chores or whatever when I got home. Wash the dishes, and this happened. That's what it was. And so I, went to getting with my chores and doing that, washing the dishes. Had my headphones on, my little Walkman thing, so I'm jamming to music. I didn't know that he had gotten home from work early, and he had parked his car up the road.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I'm in the middle of washing dishes, thinking I'm the only one in the house, and all of a sudden he snuck out of the basement door or whatever, and I didn't even see him, and he just grabbed me by the ribs and
Oh, no.
rah! And dude, thank God he had a hold of me, because I jumped so high I probably would have made a hole in the ceiling.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine.
That was the end of my scaring days.
That was pranks.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not doing that to anybody else. Here, let me scare you this way. A new COVID variant that causes severe sore throat. They call it razor blade throat.
Ooh.
Come on, man. Razor blade throat, really? Could you have made that sound any scary?
Right?
Come on, razor blade throat. They refer to it as that because it feels like swallowing razor blades, it says. But anyway, if you're worried about COVID, there you go.
Yeah,
you might get a sore throat.
And I heard something yesterday about
What?
the, was it the Asian death ant or something has now been found in the U.S. somewhere? It's a ant it's a poisonous ant. It can bite you and sting you and kill you. Yeah. So now we've got
One sting, one bite, or does it take multiple? I mean, how does that
I
work?
didn't research into it.
What,
Enough
why
of
Why
an
not?
ant that can poison you didn't freak you out.
Well, I mean, it depends. I don't hang out with ants a lot. I mean, where are they? Are they in my house? I mean, I don't know, man. All right, let's see what else we've got here that you might give a damn about. The White House press secretary delivered a message from the president during the press briefing. He said there's still a substantial chance of negotiating with Iran, and he'd make a decision on any potential attack within the next 2 weeks. Iran says it's getting ready to hit back at U.S. bases in the Middle East if America joins Israel's attacks. I'm still going to say I don't think we're going to.
Yeah.
I think we're just, trying to keep him on the chessboard, and he's just playing it out. So I suspect we will not do that. Okay, let's see. Here's another one. Memphis police said 25-year-old Trenton Abston scaled a wall into Mayor Paul Young's gated neighborhood Sunday night, went straight to his front door. Officers arrested him, found a taser, gloves, rope, and duct tape in his car. He's charged with attempted kidnapping, stalking, aggravated criminal trespass, held for court appearances. Mayor Young urged calmer public discourse and praised quick police work that helped track him down. Yeah, that'd make you nervous.
Just
Somebody
a little bit.
shows up with duct tape and a taser. Yeah,
I think we're gonna have problems.
The TikTok ban pushed off for another 90 days. You're still there.
Shocker.
Yeah, TikTok's never going away. Okay, just know that. Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. I was just reading that.
What?
He said that ant that I was talking about is apparently in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't know whether it, Yeah.
For 10 years, Sophie Gravia worked as a renal nurse assisting patients with kidney disease.
What a shitty job.
Hey, yo. After a while, a break was in order, so she turned to a more creative outlet, writing erotic fiction. Her first book, called A Glasgow Kiss, was self-published and did well for her. From there, publishers came calling. She's even topped the charts on Amazon. Now she says she might one day return to nursing, but right now, the life of an erotic fiction writer is pretty sweet. Man, I wrote.
Right?
Well, why can't I get famous from mine? I wrote an erotic fiction book, and it's funny, it's good, it's scary, it's weird. Why am I not rich? Why can't I be on the Amazon bestseller list, buddy? Scammers are everywhere, and they're finding new creative ways to get you. In Maryland, authorities warning of a scam going around targeting the elderly. A scumbag posing as a federal officer either calls, texts, or emails the victim, tells them their finances have been compromised, and they're advised to put all their assets into gold bars and deliver it to them. For the record, no federal officer will cold call, text, or email you. They'll never ask you for gold bars or gift cards. You're welcome. And if you do that, you get what you get. Let's see.
I had one time try and call me up and tell me I won like the Publishers Clearinghouse, but they needed me to go get a $50 like Amazon gift card or whatever,
yeah,
so
because
they
that's
could
what they need.
so they could know where to deliver the payment to. And I was like, oh
No,
yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I messed with them for like 45 minutes.
No, that's great when you can get them on the hook.
Stayed on the phone with them driving around in my car, and I was like, yeah, traffic's blocked. I'm sorry, I'm
then
trying to
they're
get
like-
it taken care of.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the funny guy. Hand him up to the big man, the real scammers. Now, the Wise Guys is not even a real football team. It's all brought here just to ruse you. It's a whole scam.
Everything is just a big old,
Yeah, it's all a fake for you. A new bar in Qingdu, China is making drinking beer feel like you're on Wall Street. At the beer exchange, the prices of different beers go up and down all day depending on what customers are buying. When a lot of people buy a certain beer, the price goes up and it shows in red.
Okay, cool idea, but that would piss me off after a few of them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why don't you just drink a different beer?
I mean, but what if I don't want to?
Then go somewhere else. A 36-year-old Texas man named, I'm sorry, that confused me because I read it wrong. 36-year-old Texas woman named Kristen Spearman is in jail for stalking. She got married without her boyfriend being there. A 42-year-old man got a package that contained a marriage certificate, showed he and his ex-girlfriend were married, even though he never went to a wedding.
What?
Police said she convinced a pastor to sign off on the marriage certificate, even though the groom wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah, well, first of all, how did you convince him?
Right.
Second of all, he's done as an officiant. That's the end of his officiating career right there. By the way, if you are getting married and you need an officiant, this guy right here, who also writes erotic fiction, or has. Okay, let's go to Lincoln, Nebraska, where a thief broke in, stole a man's vacation fund, $3,000 worth of quarters he
What
had
is
been
this,
saving up.
National, like, Stock and Break-In Day or something,
Yeah,
man?
must be. $3,000 worth of quarters. The homeowner came back June 12th to find his back door open, discovered the thieves took $200 in cash from the dresser. They caught two people in a gray car on security cameras pulling into an alley behind the house. One went in, turned off the cameras. The other waited in the car with their dog. Police are also looking for a different pair of thieves who broke into 8 storage units with bolt cutters, but didn't take anything. That's weird. For the record, $3,000 worth of quarters weighs about 150 pounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was actually wondering that. I
Were
was
you?
like, I wonder, I mean,
Okay.
geez, that'd be, yeah.
The most expensive sports team sale in history told you yesterday that the Lakers had announced they're selling for $10 billion. That will be the most expensive ever. The breakdown, by the way, of the most valuable teams: Lakers $10 billion, Celtics $6 billion, Commanders $6 billion, Broncos $4.6 billion, Suns $4 billion, and coming in at number 6, the Mavs at $3.5 billion. Somehow, the non-winning Charlotte Hornets are 7th with $3 billion. Why? They suck. Who would pay that much? Well, anyway, neither here nor there. All right, and then the NBA Finals. Man,
Yeah.
I don't know where the hell this team was night before when they played, but the Pacers came in and just blew the Thunder out 108-91. They were up at one point at 32 points, I think.
Dang.
It was absolutely ridiculous. They led 64-42 at halftime. Tyrese Halliburton and Siakam combined for 25 first-half points, produced a great alley-oop dunk right before the break. The SGA and Jalen Williams, they couldn't find a rhythm. They scored 31 before the Thunder waved the white flag late. Game 7 is set for a 7 p.m. Central tip-off Sunday night on ABC.
Okay.
And then what about the Wise Guys? You did the coaches' corner.
Yeah, well, speaking about that, we're gonna pause on that for just a second.
okay.
The game. So I got a little bet to place with you.
Oh,
I think
okay.
we'll add some fun because I was wondering if it was gonna stretch for sure to 7
Are
games.
you gonna
or
bring
not.
that?
So
Oh, go ahead.
am I gonna bring what?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to propose that, because I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I wanted to make it fun. Why not? So we're going to go into Game 7. If Pacers win, I'll take a Wheel of Pain spin. If the Thunder wins, you got to take a Wheel of Pain spin.
All right. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Hold on.
You down?
Yeah.
Are you going to grab it right now?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing? Oh, okay. We're going to show it?
Yeah, I think people should be able to see it.
Okay. Let's bring it on in, man. It is in all of its glory, finally done. So what all do we have on it again? I got to look at what I might be getting myself into. Okay, you want me to move a camera over there?
No, I'll just
Okay.
over here real quick.
There you go.
There. That way they can see it. All right. So
I feel like we need debut music, like,
Yeah, a tortilla slap. Shrooms. Taking a wrestling shot. Taking a paintball shot.
Oof.
Taking a stun gun shot. Getting paddled. What's in the box? I don't know what pick and share is. Kendo stick.
I think pick and share is where you get to pick somebody else to.
And then here's a Nathan Kirby gut punch. Yeah, that's pretty tough. Right? So, we've got the Wheel of Pain here ready to rock for when that time comes.
All right, so we're down, so it's set. The first Wheel of Pain spin will depend on the final game in the NBA Finals. Yeah, there we go. All right, good deal.
And so one of us
One of us are going to spin it
are going to
come
spin
Monday.
it. Yeah,
All right.
Monday. Either way. So we'll do that first.
Man, there's a few of those I'm looking at on there where I'm like, that wouldn't be so bad. But, oof, a gut punch or a paintball shot or, ow.
A tortilla slap is not as intimidating
Yeah.
as a gut punch from Nathan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like there's different levels for the Wheel
Yeah,
of Pain.
and,
so.
and because he's such a big-time actor now.
Right.
I also have to find a backup in case Nathan can't be here, but I need someone just as deadly.
I'm sure we could find somebody.
Well, we need to find a backup gut punch guy.
Okay.
But it's got to be somebody with a pedigree, not just anybody can punch us.
Right.
Not just going to let any dude go in there and gut punch us. You got to show some kind of, promise on that.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm sure we can get somebody. But yeah, you were mentioning yesterday we had I had the plates and play calls interview with Coach Baguette from the Hot Springs Wise Guys up there at Ouachita Bar and Grill. And, man, just a great time, man. I really enjoyed that. It was the first interview, but we recapped over some footage from their first 3 games. I got to ask him a lot of, just questions, analysis about the games, things that I noticed. I noticed one of the big issues for the Wise Guys over the last few games, and this last week where they were away in Duluth, they ended up coming out with a win because of this change, I believe. But their first two games against the Axemen and the Woo, they were suffering from being plagued by high snaps, man.
Yeah, no, I saw that game one.
Yeah.
The high snaps were a big problem.
Yeah, and so they've had a bit of personnel change in the center position, man, and it showed and paid off for
I
them.
wondered if they would, because I was like, man, I mean, I don't want to speak ill on anyone, but I was like, I feel like I could snap the ball slightly better than that was happening that day. But I just thought maybe it was some jitters, or it was his first day in that role.
Well, and that's exactly what Coach said. He said, man, it was somebody we tried out. We noticed it game one, but same thing. We thought it was jitters. We tried again. Second game against the Woo, we saw it
Just
again, and then
couldn't
we were
quite-
like,
couldn't quite
just
do it.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So.
But that's okay. Not everybody can do it.
Right, absolutely. So, but nonetheless, we
Making
discussed that.
change helped them quite a bit.
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
they won in spite of that.
Right.
So that has to better their odds if they can, not have that as well, because that probably cost them, 3 or 4 downs at least.
I would think so, yeah, for sure. And I know, it cost them 2 points in the game. I believe it was against the Woo. There was a snap that was made. They were in their own territory, right about the 5-yard
Are
line.
you saying the Woo?
Yeah, the Iowa Woo. Isn't like
W-U?
woo. Yeah. No, like WOO.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
Like I got a woo.
It's supposedly a mix from what I read between their town name and kind of a wrestling thing.
Like a
Ric
Ric
Flair,
Flair,
Woo,
yeah.
yeah. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, Wise Guys were in their own territory. Snap came. Snap went high and out of bounds. And that was a free safety for the Woo from the Wise Guys.
Oh, I
So,
got you. Okay.
different things like that we discussed. And, of course, just, their defensive strategy and recapped over the last few games. But if you want to check it out.
Now, this game that's coming up, it's Saturday, right?
Yeah, their next game coming up is
Tomorrow.
Saturday.
That's
Yep,
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So, what game is this? Game 5 or 4?
This will be game 4, so this
Game
is
4.
exactly
So we're at the
halfway through the
point
season.
of the season.
Yep.
And right now, as it stands, if I'm not mistaken, they're tied for first place. It's a 3-way tie, though.
You've got it correct. 3-way tie for first
So they
place,
need to come
so.
out of this with a dub.
Absolutely.
Who's the competition this week?
I believe it is the Lunkers, the Ozark Lunkers.
The Ozark Lunkers.
Yeah.
They must be out of Missouri.
I believe so, yeah.
That sounds like somebody's ass we want to beat.
Absolutely. And, man, they've got a lot of great
We'll turn
things.
the Lunkers into punkers.
I like it. There you go. They've got a lot of great things going this weekend, too, that I did want to point out. They are doing a kind of a tip of the hat nod honor to first responders.
Oh.
So if you're a first responder and medical personnel across the board, that it's
Yeah.
not just, firefighters and EMTs, doctors, nurses, doctor's assistants. They have a special code on their Facebook. Just go look up Hot Springs Arena or Hot Springs Wise Guys Arena Football. And you get a free premium ticket.
Oh, wow.
To the game on
One
Saturday.
free premium
One
ticket.
free premium
That's
ticket.
pretty amazing.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's $25 for that ticket, I think.
Right, absolutely.
So that's a
at
good
least.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
and you're
those
going to be
seats are
right there
awesome.
on the home side.
You're
Yeah,
gonna be-
down low.
You're going to be, right there where the action is. That's cool.
Right. And then also they had posted on Facebook Saturday they're needing some help with just getting everything set up for the game, because we've got to move everything into the
Right.
arena, put the walls up, the turf
Sure.
out, and everything. So starting at 8 a.m., this is open to anybody. If you show up at Bank OZK Arena, the entrance is on the Church Street side for
Yeah.
us. But you show up, walk in, let them know you're there to help set up. They're going to give you a free ticket to the game
Wow.
or any game of your
Yeah.
choosing. But
That's cool, though, that, if you kind of love football and maybe you want to get kind of in behind the scenes, see what's going on, and get involved in a roundabout way with the team, it's a good door to open. Plus, you get a free ticket.
Absolutely, man. They're
Yeah.
it's just it's cool to see come together because there's just so much community involvement throughout Hot Springs in
And I'll
it.
tell you, if I was a high school football player, I'd want to volunteer to go up and help them, because then you might learn something from some of these guys.
Right.
You might get a good connect for the future.
They're
You never
actually,
know.
it's funny you mentioned that. I believe they're going to drop some more news on it on their Facebook here soon. But Coach was telling me yesterday that July 3rd, they're working on putting together a kickball kind of game tournament thing between, it's for high impact movement. They help at-risk youth and teens and things like that.
Okay.
But they're going to put on a kickball game with the wise guys in the community and whoever wants to come out. They'd like to, Coach said he would love for some high school players to come out and be able to just kind of, have a chance to face the pros one-on-one a little bit and have some fun.
That's cool, man. Well, that's good, especially if you're working with the at-risk youth. And I mean, I think that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really great.
Brandon says we need a PATP suite at the Wise Guys games.
We really do. We probably will, long term, we'll probably work that out. That's definitely something I'd be interested in having.
Right.
Yeah, so we may next year have that. It'd be cool to have where we could invite, viewers.
Win a ticket to come hang out with us.
Yeah. And hang out, on us. It's
a great idea, man. I like it.
Yeah.
For
so
sure.
maybe we'll work that out. Well, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a short few moments. There you go.
First, let me thank you for all you said in your letter. I'm sure the words are all true, and you want to be better. This time you got it figured out. You're gonna love me how I need. I'm gonna be happy, no doubt. This much you've guaranteed. A little fix right over here, and a little work over there. Just a little on the foundation. Hey, it's just a few repairs. I've heard it all 20 times before, and you're telling me to be patient. But what I signed up for was a real man, not a renovation. Hand on your heart to me, this time you're committed. But you say it'd be best if I wasn't quite so rigid. My standards might be a little high, maybe I could show more empathy. I'm not saying you're the bad guy, but I am hitting this return key. A little fix right over here, and a little work over there. Just a little on the foundation. Hey, it's just a few repairs. I've heard it all 20 times before, and you're telling me to be patient. But what I signed up for was a real man, not a renovation. Moments from this reply, I expect next will be your call. Breathlessly explaining why you're prepared to do it all. Are my needs a priority now? Never seemed to really be before. Honestly, what you're hearing is the sound of me closing this door. A little fix right over here, and a little work over there. Just a little on the foundation. Hey, it's just a few repairs. I've heard it all 20 times before, and you're telling me to be patient. But what I signed up for was a real man, not a renovation. Not a renovation. Not a renovation. Not a renovation. Show me a real man.
Turned on the radio today, cut it off after 2 songs played. Whatever happened to rock and roll? Everything is sad and it blows. Huey was singing now about the heart. ZZ Top jammed about cars. AC/DC shook us all night long. Why are all the good times gone? I just wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers. I remember days riding with my friends, singing every song to the end. What the hell are they doing now? Sitting together in a car and crying. Sometimes my buddies ask me, how come you don't listen to new stuff? I don't know, but maybe it's because I'm not a damn cream puff. I just wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers. While all these folks are sad and wailing, I'm sticking with Def Leppard, GNR, and Van Halen. Oh yeah. It always feels like a good jam session, and I don't end up with a bag of depression. Wanna get in my damn car and bump up the speakers without hearing all these songs about depression, dope, and tweakers.
Man, exciting. It's Friday. We're right here at Patrick and the People at the Legion Scaffold Broadcast Studio. And, of course, Rich Rockwell, as always, is here. But joining us now, a guy I've known here in the community for a long time and well-known person, but a very interesting character, Matt Wildside. How are you, man?
I'm good, brother. It is awesome to be here on a fantastic Friday with you, man. I appreciate the invite.
Man,
I really do.
man. I hadn't caught up with you in a little bit and saw you've been out and about, and I was like, man, I got to get him on here, man. And I know your schedule's been busy. So for those who don't know, Matt does many, many different things, but among which is he owns a bunch of theaters, right?
Yeah, I think locally in Little Rock, that's kind of my default setting, and just what I tell people when I meet them.
Right.
I have as far as that avenue or that business, I do many other things.
Yes.
But I own 12 movie theaters in 12 different cities, and 6 of those happen to be in Arkansas. The other
Right.
6 are in other states. And so
Like
when
the Riverdale is one.
yes,
Riverdale
yes,
10
yes,
is yours.
yes, yeah, and that is a different situation for me. I'm in a shopping center there.
Yeah.
And that's not normal for me. At my other locations, I own the land, I own the building, I own the equipment. I just
Right.
kind of do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Riverdale is an anomaly for me, and is actually my slowest, smallest operation.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I just did it because it became available
Yeah.
many years ago.
And you were like, yeah, I'll just take advantage of it. I'm already doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
it's
kinda
right
makes sense.
at the time. I mean, it's right there. Why not?
Yeah.
But if you're in Little Rock, and you were going to go to one of my venues, you would go to Riverdale 10.
Yeah.
Riverdale10.com is the website. And, we were the first, that was the first location in the state of Arkansas to offer alcohol.
Yeah.
I was
remember
issued
that.
an alcohol permit for alcohol in a movie theater before anyone else. That was also the first location in the state of Arkansas to have luxury leather electric recliners.
Yeah, I remember when you put those
Very
in.
first
man.
one,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And of course,
Yeah,
we've
you
got-
saw around the curve on that.
Yeah, I mean, just having having been and seen that in Los Angeles, Aspen, whatever, I just knew that's where it was going.
Yeah.
It just wasn't here yet, and you can see the trajectory of that business. Essentially, now, if you are an exhibitor, you're in the cinema space. You're
Yeah.
showing people movies.
Yeah.
If you're in that business now, you have recliners.
Yeah.
You have food. You have alcohol.
Yeah.
Years ago, that was not the case.
Sure.
That's where it's been. And theaters have either converted to that or they have closed.
Well, yeah, I think people, what's happened is with the shift of home media and everything, now they're looking for an experience. They want more than just to show up and see a movie like normal. They want something more experiential. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the situation of, back in the day, when we were all kids or something, and you just threw some chairs in a big room and you had soda pop and a box of candy and some popcorn for people to go to the show. It doesn't work anymore. Things have changed, right? And so those theaters have went away, right? And so if you stay in the space, that's what you offer. You have some amenities. And so we have that. We've got the luxury leather electric recliners with the tables, the reserved seating, the Dolby 7.1 sound. We have that at all of my locations. And, you know, like at Riverdale, we serve alcohol. We serve alcohol in Hot Springs. I have both of the theaters in Hot Springs. We serve alcohol there. We serve alcohol in Cabot. And again, that was a first. Cabot is a dry city and a dry county. I have a private club permit for my movie theater in Cabot. It is the only movie theater in the state of Arkansas that has a private club alcohol permit.
That's cool, actually. That's a pretty good idea. Now, so let's talk just for a second. There's so much more I want to talk to you about.
Sure.
But I do want to unpack this. So, you know, a few years ago when the lockdowns and all that were going on, and so many people, pundits, if you will, were predicting the death of the theater.
Right.
You know, but it did not die. I mean,
True.
It did take a valley.
Yes.
You know, but how is it now relative to what's happened in the past, and where is it going?
Okay, so let's go back to, say, March of 2020.
Okay.
So if you look at March of 2020 and you look at what is called the domestic market in the cinema exhibition space.
Yeah.
The domestic market is Canada and the United States.
Uh-huh.
That is the largest market on earth for cinema moviegoing. At that particular time, there were roughly 45,000 screens in the United States and Canada, and about 6,000 cinema locations, okay? And that would include a crappy one-screen theater in a town of a couple thousand people, and then that would include the Empire on Times Square that has 30 screens in New York.
Right.
Everything. So if you got one screen or you got 30 screens, your count as a location. There was 6,000 or so, and then about 45,000 screens. Then the pandemic hit, okay? And you've got a piss poor business model for a lot of people, okay? You've been around a long time. You've seen a lot of businesses. You know what's going on, okay? There is a difference in being open as a business, right, versus having cash flow to pay your bills.
Right. Yeah, no, there's a huge difference.
Big difference. You know, there's a lot of businesses that are open right now today that are losing money.
Yeah, they barely have any cash flow.
And they're just holding on until something catastrophic happens and they close, or their lease expires at that rip-off triple net commercial property that they leased.
Right.
And they're going to pack it up and move out.
Yeah.
But I got to pay that rent for the next 5 years, so they're going to be open. So there's a difference in being open and having positive cash flow. Big, huge difference in that. A lot of people don't understand that. And then there is a huge difference in having cash flow, which means you can pay your bills, and having a profit.
Right.
There's another gulf
That's
in
a
that.
whole other different thing.
So open to cash flow is black and white. Cash flow to profit, also black and white. And so you see some people that have just a massively retarded business plan where they rent space and then they rent equipment, right? And then they pay payments on all those leases.
Right.
Which, okay, if people are showing up,
Then that works,
easy enough to do, right? You see that in the cinema exhibition space, but you also see that very heavily in the restaurant industry.
Right.
That is why restaurants are constantly opening and restaurants are constantly closing.
Yeah.
How hard is it to open up a restaurant? Lease some space that's already been a restaurant.
Yeah.
Run down here to the raggedy used restaurant equipment place, get you some raggedy equipment, throw it in there, pick you out a menu, boom, you're open.
Yeah, that's true. But there is a cost barrier. Well, you know, that lease and everything. It's costly, and that's why a lot of them come and go.
A few $100,000 to open up a restaurant. It's one of the cheapest things you can do. Open a restaurant. So the cheapest way on earth to own your own business is open up a restaurant.
Yeah.
A few $100,000, you can do it. I mean, yeah. So that's when you see the grand opening. I wish we had a grand closing. If they would have grand closing for those things, people might look at that with a different attitude.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about going out of business.
Yeah.
Right? But in that space, there's an aggregate amount of people that are going to go out and eat. And so, you know, when new restaurants open up, old restaurants close.
Yeah.
Right? We had a lot of that stupidity in the cinema business. You go out, you lease space, you lease projectors, you lease seats, you put all that in. As long as people are showing up, you can make your payments. When COVID hits, you're closed.
Yeah, right.
You still owe those payments. And that forced a lot of people out of business. So you saw some shrinkage. And we went from, say, 45,000 screens in March of 2020 in the domestic market to under 40,000 now. We're in the higher 30s, 38, 39,000. About 6,000 screens went dark.
Yeah, so 15% probably of the market.
Then you had about 6,000 locations, and about 1,000 of them closed.
Oh wow, okay, that's even bigger number, yeah.
So we got about 5,000 theaters left in the U.S. and Canada. Now, a lot of that was stupid business practices and rent, never own, which is ignorant. That only benefits the commercial landlord, not you.
Yeah.
And it benefits the people that are selling you overpriced equipment at exorbitant, money shark interest rates.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
But in reality, right, we were probably already overscreened. Okay? Mm-hmm. The market was overscreened. Because if you're out developing a shopping mall or you're developing a new piece of rental property, you want anchor tenants. A movie theater has been a traditional anchor tenant.
Right.
You strive to throw those in there because if you have a movie theater, it feeds the restaurants and the retail spaces around it.
Of course it does.
If
it's successful.
Yeah, an analogy would be Walmart. You want to be located close to Walmart. It's drawing people, right? So you had a lot of overbuilt situations and just too many screens. A lot of the United States was overscreened. And so if you look at some cities across the country, take, say, Pittsburgh, and you had 7 movie theaters in Pittsburgh, right? 2 of them went out of business. 5 of them are left, right? Those 5 movie theaters can service Pittsburgh.
Sure.
The other 2 were never needed, right?
Yeah, it was just overflow, really, yeah.
Never needed. And so even now today, if you look at the domestic box office and you look at what's out there, there's 39,000 theaters, right? And there's 5,000 locations. The reality is 99% of ticket sales come from about 35,000 screens.
Yeah, so
Right?
really it's still a little.
Yes. And about 99% of the movie-going public is going to about 4,000 theaters.
But because you owned most of your property and your buildings,
Correct.
You weren't leasing, and
Well,
you didn't have the issues with cash flow that others may have.
Exactly. If I wanted to rent space and rent equipment and rent seats, well, I could just open.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't want to do that. And so, you own your land, you own your building, you own your equipment. Something like COVID happens, you can close and go home.
Right.
You're not making any money, but you
you're
don't
not
have any
losing
expenses,
any.
right? You don't have payroll. You don't.
Right.
You got
But
a little
if you're-
bit. You got some insurance and
But
some
if you're
utilities.
leasing all that stuff, you got to make those payments.
Correct. And that's what forced those places to close. And I don't think people realize, AMC closed about 150 theaters, Cinemark closed over 100, Regal closed a couple of hundred. All those big chains declared bankruptcy and had to emerge from that. And a lot of that was just being overbuilt. Your audience is a lot of Central Arkansas.
Yeah.
You take a town like Conway as an example. You look back historically at Conway, and you look at Conway in the 1970s. Conway had 12 movie screens, okay? 2 6-screen movie theaters were located in Conway. The ownership of those 2 rented spaces in Conway changed. They were United Artists for a while. They were First International Theaters for a while. They were Carmike for a while. They were AMC for a while, whatever they were. But Conway had 2 6-screen movie theaters and a total of 12 screens. Here we are in 2025, and there's 12 screens in Conway. There were 12 screens in Conway in 1975.
It's
Right?
the same right number.
Yeah, I mean, it's still covered. There's no need for more screens there. Or you can look at North Little Rock. North Little Rock historically had the screen count that it's got, right? At one point back in the day, there was a 13-screen theater at the other center next to Target in North Little Rock.
Center Cinema,
Yeah. And then at one point, there was a Carmike 7-screen beside Chili's. And then across the street, there was the theater at Lakewood.
Yeah.
Now all that's gone, and there's one theater at McCain Mall.
Yeah.
But if you look at 1975 in North Little Rock and 2025 in North Little Rock, it's the same screen count. The locations of the screens, who own the screens, right, changed, but the screen count to service the town did not.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and if you look historically at Little Rock, where you work, and I'm sure you have a lot of your listeners there, the screen count in Little Rock really hasn't changed. We had a lot of grand openings in Little Rock. We also had a lot of grand closings.
Yeah, that's true.
Take, for example, when Rave 18 opened.
Yeah.
Rave 18 opened, brought 18 new screens to town, and very shortly thereafter, 18 screens went dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
The Winds on 10 closed, the Cinema 150 closed, and the Carmike 7 closed.
Yeah.
You got 18 new screens, and 18 screens went away. But the screen count's been the same.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. So let's move from that.
Sure.
Obviously, as you said, you do a lot of other things. But one of the things that, I guess a lot of people are familiar with you on social media would know is that, man, you are passionate about rock music, and
Yes.
you travel all over the world to see different artists play.
Yes.
And you have, met with and hung out with some of the coolest people on the planet. So, first of all, tell me this: what's the greatest show you've ever seen?
Wow. Man.
There's one sentimentally that you still love the most, man. Come on.
I would say the Rolling Stones in Havana, Cuba was
Yeah.
probably one of the greatest concert experiences ever. It was the Rolling Stones, greatest rock band ever. And then being in Havana, Cuba, just the fact that they had some freedom at that particular point.
Yeah.
That was probably such a significant historical thing, and it was the Stones. That was a huge one.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that was probably such a unique thing.
Yeah, just a unique place and time to be.
They'd never had that before. They haven't had it since.
No.
It's kind of closed back down for them
Yeah.
again. Those people are back to kind of being locked up, if you would, on the
Yeah.
island. That would be definitely the one. And then, there's some other stuff that's amazing. Download is just such a huge festival, 500,000 people
Yeah.
every year in the UK. That's probably the biggest, baddest, most awesome festival that's
You said
currently going on.
500,000 people.
500,000 people go to Download.
That's a lot.
Download is nuts. And if you look at the United States, we've had these festival things that have really been kind of popping off and becoming a thing in, say, the past 20 years, right? But if you go back historically, that really wasn't the case. Europe has always had the big festivals. It's called Download now. Before that, it was called Monsters of Rock. Before that, it was called Castle Donington.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the 60s, right? And all of those countries, you're talking about Spain or Germany or France, they have big festivals that draw hundreds of thousands of people. United States really didn't have that until you go back to like 2000, 02, 05. Sure, we had Sturgis, right? You had the South Texas Rock Fest. You had those things that happen annually. But if you look at the huge festivals that are just drawing people from all over the United States,
Yeah, the Woodstock type experience. Yeah.
that's just now become a thing where, you've got Bonnaroo, you've got Coachella,
Right.
you've still got Sturgis,
Burning
you still
Man.
got you still got the South Texas Rock Fest. And all
Have you been to Burning Man?
I have not. I
No.
have not. I have not.
I'm shocked you haven't.
I have not. I have not done that one. But like the Carolina Rebellion,
Yeah.
Rock on the Range, all of these things that happen now, and it's almost to the point in the United States, they have kind of followed that European lead. You look at like April.
Yeah.
There's a festival that starts, one happens every weekend in April, runs through May and runs through the summer into the fall. There's something going on like that. There's a big event this weekend at the state fairgrounds. There's stuff like that
Yeah.
happening now that just didn't used to happen
That's
in
true.
the States.
That's true. So, you have, you've met an innumerable amount of musicians and artists and rock stars, if you will. Who are some of the nicest people in the business you've met, Matt?
Oh, wow. Just personable and
Yeah,
and
just,
nice.
people who don't seem like they're too good to hang out with you and
Gotcha.
talk to you and visit with you, that don't have that way about them.
Well, I mean,
And that's not always it's not always
Right.
really what it is. It's they are very busy and they're trying
Right.
to give to their fans, and sometimes people don't understand that. But as a fan, you do want a warm experience. You want to enjoy it. If you meet someone that you think is cool,
Yes.
you want it to be a cool experience.
Yes.
In your experiences, who have been among the coolest?
Okay. If you're just out there and you're going to a show as a fan.
Yeah.
You're just going to buy a ticket and go. And I'm just talking about this from the music consumer level.
Yeah.
If you're going to see a band at a smaller venue, odds are that's going to go better for you. Odds are that band is going to be personable for you. They're trying to hustle up. They're trying to make a career.
Right.
They're trying to do something with their time. So if you're seeing them at the Hall, right, or you're seeing them back in the day at Clear Channel Metroplex, or whatever,
Right.
they're going to be cooler. Odds are when the show's over, they may be hanging out by the merch booth
Right.
to try to say hello to you and get you to buy a
Get
T-shirt.
you buy a shirt or whatever, a
They're
hoodie.
trying to create a career,
Right.
And that's not going to happen if you're going somewhere like Summit Bank Arena. Those
Right.
guys are just too big.
No, I
they don't
mean,
have time to mess with you, right?
No, I mean, it's
Right.
it's obviously, look, it's not like Motley Crue has to
Correct.
do that. You know,
Yes.
that's not
Yes.
saying they never did that.
Yes.
But they don't have to do
No,
that.
no, not at this point. But, you know, some I guess newer or maybe smaller bands that are really cool that I've been really good friends with, Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah, those are good guys.
Very, very down, personal type guys. Hinder.
Yeah.
Really good friends with those guys. Very personable, very down to earth guys. And those two bands always have been. They've always been that way. My Darkest Days when they were coming up, Hurt.
I remember those
guys. Very personal.
They ended up breaking up,
Yeah,
didn't they?
they did.
They
They
were a
did.
good band, man.
They did. And just very personal relationship with those guys and known them for a long time. They've been to my house, things like that.
Yeah.
Those younger bands coming up. And then when you're talking about established artists, older artists, artists that have, been platinum sellers but are
Yeah.
very down-to-earth people. Stephen Percy from Rat, just cool.
Man, I can mirror that. You know what? When they came, when I was, I don't know, I was 13, 14, Rat was, they were at the top of the heap for me.
Sure.
They were one of my very favorites. And so
Yes.
I really, probably from 14 to 16, 17, whatever, that was really an important musical time to me. And those guys were a big part of it. So fast forward to 30 years later or whatever it was when they came to the fairgrounds.
Yes.
And, I had been asked, would you introduce them and all that. And so I got to hang out with them for a little bit. And as you say, one of the nicest cats, man. He was just really down to earth, super nice, super grateful, super thankful,
Yes, I know Stephen very well. He's been in my house. We've shot pool, hung out a million times. He is a great guy.
Yeah.
He is the genuine article. I can say that about him. And then also from that genre, Bret Michaels.
Yeah.
You see these things on television, whether he did The Apprentice or maybe he did that Rock of Love
yeah.
thing or maybe, right? Just very much what you see is who he is. None of that is pretend. He is enthusiastically happy
Yeah.
to do those shows. He's enthusiastically happy to be around people.
Yeah.
Just the genuine article, and then probably on a different type of music. Mark McGrath,
Oh, Sugar Ray.
just really cool, very personable.
He
guy.
always seemed like he was actually to me.
Really nice.
Yeah.
And those people as older artists,
Yeah.
obviously Blackstone Cherry, My Darkest Days, Hurt, those guys hinder younger artists, right? But older artists, when you're talking about like Steven and
Yeah, the
and
legacy
Brett, and
artists.
those guys are older than me, obviously. Those artists are the genuine article. They're just easy to talk to, like me and you having a conversation.
right,
Like you and I
yeah.
are talking right here.
Right.
You can have a cup of coffee with this person. You can shoot pool with this person. They are just a person, right, who happens to be in the music business,
Mm-hmm.
but enjoys their career and genuinely like
Interacting,
people.
yeah.
They like
Yeah,
people.
yeah. And
right?
sometimes people don't understand, like, for example, Jonathan from Korn. He is not a people person. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't know anybody who should be shocked by that. He's just not that guy. I have met him, and he was nice enough, but it's uncomfortable for him. You know what I mean? It's not what he loves doing. He likes to make music and perform his music, and that's kind of what he likes, So sometimes it's not a matter of them being a-holes. It may be that it's just not how they get down, But it's always nice as a fan to enjoy the experience of meeting somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if you've also got to look at how many directions you're pulled in, and when you get to be the size of that band, for example, or you mentioned Def Leppard. When you get to be that size, you've got a record label, you've got an accountant, you've got a manager, you've got attorneys, you've got all these crew people that are living off you, and getting a percentage of the dollars that you generate. And you've got that pressure, and you've got those headaches. You've also been doing this for a lifetime, and you really can't go anywhere.
That's
you
true.
just can't go out and eat. You just can't go out and drink. You just can't. You can't go anywhere. You just have to kind of stay hidden, right?
Yeah.
Or you have to hang around with people in that genre. And I mean, there's some guys like you're somewhere like Rocklahoma. And in Rocklahoma, they got a house out back behind the main stage, and the big house has massive video games and pool tables in there and foosball and anything you want to do.
It's like a giant green room, basically.
It is, man. It is, and you'll have massage therapists there or whatever.
Yeah.
And guys will hang out.
Yeah, massage
Yeah,
therapist.
man, they will, man. They got
I get it.
chiropractor there.
No,
I mean,
I
they
get
got, they're trying to take care of you. They got the
Yeah.
food catered. They're
Yeah.
trying to make it easy for you to get off that bus and enjoy your life. And there's guys that'll come there and shoot pool and hang out, have a drink, get some barbecue, whatever the case may be. There's other guys that stay on the bus, hide.
Yeah.
They don't even. There's no fans back here, dude.
Yeah, it's
right?
just other rockers.
It's
yeah.
just right. I mean, you know the other people that are here.
Yeah.
Oh no, hide on the bus. Showtime. Walk off the bus. Walk on stage and play. Walk off stage and get on the bus.
Yeah.
Will not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you have people that. And this may be the case with you said Jonathan, is that right?
Yeah.
And this may be his case. You've got people who want to write music, they want to be songwriters, they want to create music. Okay, that's what they're comfortable in doing, and maybe they're just looking for a publishing deal or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they can play an instrument, and then somehow they are kind of thrust into the limelight.
Yeah.
And they're actually an introverted person, not an extroverted person.
Yeah.
And they somehow have to get their game up to go on stage and do
And
that.
make that work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because, if you're...
Jim Morrison was like that, actually.
And I mean, and a lot of those people are self-medicating with alcohol or drugs or whatever to get in that headspace to make that performance.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it from a lead singer, in a way, you're just out there naked.
Yeah.
Performing.
No, it's very much like stand-up in a way.
Yes. But, if you're one of the other people in the band, you're kind of in the back. You can kind of hide behind the bass.
Yeah.
You can kind of hide behind the drum kit.
But not the lead.
You can kind of hide behind your guitar, right?
Yeah.
Lead guy can't do that. And you either have the personality to just be, screw it,
Yeah.
I'm the one,
Yeah.
right? And jump out there and expose yourself that way, or you don't.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you suck until you don't.
You're right.
You suck until you don't suck.
No, that's true.
You suck until you don't. And so you've got to hear you suck for however long, maybe 10,000 hours, before you don't suck anymore.
Right.
And so you've got to develop a skin for that. And
Yeah.
a lot of these people take it personally, and they can't shut it off. And that's just, hey, I get if they wrote your favorite song and you think they're the greatest thing other than Jesus, right?
Right.
But when you get right down to it, these fellas are just humans
Yeah, they're
trying to
just
live their
people.
life.
Everybody's,
they have
They
some
have a little, nicer stuff.
inconsistencies. They have some, idiosyncrasies and
Yeah.
problems that everybody's got, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand somewhat needing that barrier and somewhat needing that shield. And then, you want to write songs and maybe get a publishing deal, and then you get into a situation where, you get in a band.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you just kind of get stuck in the lead singer role.
Yeah.
You don't really want to do it, but the other guys in the band don't, and you're trying to get these
I've
songs
seen that
recorded
before,
and
yeah.
made, and you don't want to be that guy, but you kind of just
End
have
up
to
that
be
guy.
that guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you're not really cool with it. And then you've got people like David Lee Roth who were born to do that.
No.
Right? And the guy's been a peacock since, he came out of his mama, right?
Man, I would argue with anybody that, to me, just me personally, and I'm not saying best, I'm not saying the best talent, anything like that, but as far as front men go, he's the epitome of a great front man.
Yes. Well, you can see how, that template worked, and the record industry kept going back to that template.
They did, yeah. Yeah.
Whether you've got like, Van Halen, you've got the Guitar Hero and the blonde God in David Lee Roth,
Yeah.
which is a straight up copy of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Yeah. More
Jimi
or less.
Hendrix and Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Okay,
More
so
or
you're
less.
Led Zeppelin to Van Halen,
Yeah.
Van Halen to Motley Crue,
Yeah.
Motley Crue to Poison.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you still got the guitar hero and the lead blonde singer.
Yeah.
And then Poison to...
Oh, man, you had a million of them at that time.
Right, and it's over. And that's why Nirvana slapped the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't really get from Poison to say Pretty Boy Floyd. It's just not there.
No.
Now we're trying to put together a band like it's a color sheet, and we're painting by numbers, and that doesn't work.
It doesn't always work, and sometimes it looks good on paper like a football team, but it doesn't score.
You can't. You can in a way blame the Flannel Five for the demise of heavy rock. But on the other hand, you kind of demised yourself because there's a lot of bands signed and a lot of things thrown out there that were subpar.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
When you're sitting around in a concrete room with nothing to eat, and you're all sleeping on the floor, writing songs.
Yeah.
And then you have to go play at some crap hole. I don't know how we can talk on this program. Are we HBO or not?
We're HBO. Go
okay,
ahead.
so you just got to play in some shithole, and you're eating shit, right? And,
Yeah.
and so and you're having to put that together and make these songs, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to beat around and make it work over and over and over again and be told you suck.
Yeah.
You're a real band now of brothers, and you can go out and create something that has meaning, and that's a Guns N' Roses. That's a Motley Crue, right? That is not grab this bass player over here because he looks right, grab this guitar player from over here because he looks right, grab this drummer, write some songs for them, right? Write some songs for them, and then throw them on a stage somewhere.
Hey,
that doesn't work.
Let's take a quick break.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll be, I can hear them doing something over here, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back, all right? Josh Taylor over at First Horizon just did it again. I just had another first-time home buyer, a couple who got into a home. Literally, they paid $500 to get into this home. That's right, $500 total dollars is what they paid to get into their new home. Why? Because First Horizon Bank has grant money that they offer, whether it's income-based, you're a professional, or a first responder. They have grant money for all of that, and it can help pay your down payment, your closing cost, and more. Josh is good people. He's just like you and I, and he can help you out. Look, you want to get into a house for $500? Yeah, Josh Taylor's the guy to call. 351-2579. It's 351-2579. Josh Taylor over at First Horizon Bank, and you tell him that Patrick sent you, all right? At Botanical Alchemy Nutraceuticals, they're a veteran-owned company, and they tailor CBD recipes specifically to you. Inflammation, if you need anxiety relief, if you're trying to focus more, if you're trying to lose weight, they have a formula for you. And you know what? They'll tweak it a little bit here and there if you need to make it perfect for you. It's sublingual. You put it under your tongue, just a drop, and it's instantly effective and 80% absorbed by your body. The other CBD that you get, the gummies, the things like that, 20% absorption, not nearly what you want. And this is pharmaceutical grade. Go over to bantx.com. It's bantx.com and put in the promo code PATP25 to get 25% off. They don't just have CBD. They've got all kinds of products. They've got a lot of different hemp products. They even have CBD for your pets. Check them out. It's bantx.com, baby.
Friday changed to Saturday like April morphed into May. It's only revolution that changes night into day. So why is change a bomb? A shrapnel from the trauma. Fragments deep inside, unhealed and leaking drama. Reposition, rearrange. Twist yourself until you can't. But you can't escape change when it's the only constant. It's not the camera, but the lens. Your field of vision opens. Unaware of this Yeah, it's taken many wise men. In darkness, flowers may grow there, but much easier to raise a nightmare. If you're on a sinking ship, you have to leave the deck chair. Reposition, rearrange, twist yourself until you can't, but you can't escape change when it's the only constant. Storms give way to sun, no other way it's done. Resist with all you have, it's all bullets and no gun. Walking headfirst into fire, it's the very thing required. Don't worry about damage, it will all be rewired. Reposition, rearrange, twist yourself until you can't, but you can't escape change when it's the only constant. The only constant is change. The only constant is change. The only constant is. The only constant is. The only constant. Change. The only constant is change.
I mean, it's gotten so much
Oh, hold on. Go ahead. We were having an off-air conversation about
What? Huh?
the former location that I was once at. But so
Yeah.
one of the things that it always is fascinating with me if I check you out on social media, man, is you're living your best life without a doubt. And
Sure.
you have some pretty neat toys. I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
be honest
Yes,
with
sir.
you now. One of which is one that I covet regularly, so I will come to your page as much to check up on your car as I do you, because you got a Lambo, and
Yes.
that's a dope ass thing. How cool is it on a scale of 1 to 10 to drive a damn Lambo, man?
Man, I'll be honest with you. If we're gonna talk about cars,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna talk about say SUV versus a luxury car versus a two-seater,
Yeah.
right? So when you're talking about a two-seater car, there is Ferrari, okay, Ferrari,
Yeah,
okay, and then there's 5 billion miles before you get to the number 2 car.
really, it's that
There's
much difference in your mind, because I know
absolutely
you have that too as well.
No comparison. Yes.
So the Ferrari is vastly better in your mind than the Lambo.
Well, not in my mind.
Just period.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is no.
You understand I don't run in that circuit.
there-
so I'm not-
I mean, there's just no brand on earth as respected as Ferrari,
yeah.
and that is for a reason. You know, I got a Lamborghini. I like the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
It's cool, but it's not half of what a Ferrari is.
Really?
It's just not. It's just not
So,
there.
Now, somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, but someone said Lambos don't even come factory or come with AC. Is that true?
No. You can get air conditioning in them. I mean, you
Okay.
get things like that. I mean,
Okay.
there's more of a sporty, hardcore. I just want to get in a Lamborghini and drive in a straight line type thing.
Yeah.
You know, which would be an old school thing like a Viper. I've had
Yeah.
a Viper before. You know, they have those.
Yeah.
But you can have a luxury Lamborghini. That does everything for you.
Yeah.
But now Ferrari is hands down the greatest automobile on earth. It holds its resale value. It is solid. It is well built. It is
you can just feel the
done.
difference.
It doesn't go to the shop.
Right.
It will increase in value. It's just
Is that the cool? Would you say that's the coolest thing you've ever, as a car you've ever had? Then if it's the best, it's got to be the coolest, right?
yeah. I mean, and you could talk about all that other off the wall stuff, whether you're talking about a Bugatti or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Those guys like Lamborghini sit at home at night hiding in the closet because they're afraid Ferrari's coming. Okay, there is nothing like that automobile.
Yeah.
When you look at a Corvette, what those guys do is they run about 10 to 15 years behind Ferrari, but they simply copy Ferrari.
Yeah.
If you're going to copy someone, you should copy the best.
Yeah, well, now I did have a vet, and I did love it, but I've never again driven a Ferrari. So
Yes, they're the tech in a vet, and you know, a vet is an awesome American-made automobile.
Yeah.
It runs about 10 to 15 years behind a Ferrari. They copy Ferrari. That's who you should copy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know
I'm sure it's not as good. I
know-
mean,
no,
obviously.
but I know people are. Well, you know, it's something anyone can own.
Yeah,
I mean, GMAC have financed thing for a decade.
yeah.
I mean, I hate to say this, but a Lamborghini's junk compared to a Ferrari.
I believe you.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
believe
just-
you.
yes.
It's just, you know, as a kid in the 80s, that was the vehicle
Yes.
that they touted the most, right?
They look good. They're pretty.
They
Woo,
are pretty, man.
Keep them in the
They're
garage.
sexy.
Keep them in a garage or keep them on a trailer.
Yeah.
And the Lamborghini's the way to go. All right? It is not. I'm serious, man.
Just breaking my heart.
I'm
You're
serious,
just shitting on my
man. I'm
dreams.
serious, man.
You just squatted down and honked a
just-
dirt snake all over my dreams as a kid.
They're beautiful, right? You know, but I mean, you know, it's like that 10 out of 10 out of 10 girl. She's great to look at, but would you want her to teach a kid to read? Probably not.
I got you.
Okay,
I'm
you know,
with you. I
mean,
got
it's just not the same car.
No, I got you.
Ferrari's the car, man. I can't praise on those enough. And then if you want to get into the luxury car thing,
Yeah.
you know, people talk about Audis, BMWs, people talk about Bentleys, what have you.
Yeah.
But it is hands down Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, you think so?
Oh, most definitely.
You know, I know that one of the knocks against them, I was reading a big thing the other day, is that they have a lot of issues now mechanically. Now, is that a result of people who buy them and can't afford to maintenance them?
There's a lot of maintenance on a Mercedes-Benz. I've got, and you know, you mentioned Lamborghini, we mentioned the Ferrari. I've got a Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
V12
Yeah.
twin turbo.
Yeah, I bet that'll cook.
It's a tank.
Yeah.
It has more, it's a four-door sedan. It's the world's fastest four-door car. It's got more torque than a Corvette.
Wow.
Okay. It's handcrafted. Okay. And the guy that built it signs the motor.
Really?
That's not the same as running around in a 3 or 4 series
No,
Mercedes.
you're right. You're right.
Right?
No, that is different.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, BMW has an entry-level SUV,
Yeah, I got you.
and you're being robbed, okay? 'Cause
Yeah,
you're paying,
you're getting a nameplate.
oh, my God. You're paying all of this money for the little circle that says BMW, right?
Mm-hmm.
That entry-level BMW SUV is junk. You need to, instead of spending that money, you need to get the top-of-the-line Toyota
Mm-hmm.
SUV, which is the same. The raggediest BMW they sell, the cheap one,
Mm-hmm.
right, costs the same as the top-of-the-line Toyota SUV.
Yeah.
That Toyota, dude, is bulletproof by comparison.
Yeah.
It costs nothing to get it serviced. You can ride in that
Now,
thing
my
forever.
Lexus is the best vehicle I've ever had.
Dude. That Toyota SUV, the top
Yeah.
of the line one, it's got more bells and whistles. It's more sturdy. It's got
Yeah.
a better warranty. It runs forever. It is a far superior vehicle to the entry-level BMW SUV.
Yeah, but if you want to look cool, right? So now having access to obviously some really cool rides. What is it you daily drive though? If you're just going to the store, you're just going around living your life. You're probably not rolling out the Ferrari.
If the weather is bad,
Yeah.
I drive a Escalade ESV.
Okay.
Well, I got a 2024.
Yeah.
Okay. If the weather's bad, that's what I drive.
Yeah.
If the weather's good, I drive that S65 AMG.
Yeah.
V12 twin turbo
Yeah.
Mercedes Benz. It blends in. You just don't know that car's a monster.
Right.
It blends in. People
Yeah.
see that, and it's a black sedan. It's
Yeah.
a black 4-door.
Yeah.
You have to really know cars
To know
to
what's
know
in
what
it.
that S65 AMG is, because most
Yeah.
people drive a 4 or 5 series, V8 Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
So it really blends in. I drive it everywhere. I'm driving it today.
Yeah.
That's my daily driver if the weather's good.
Okay,
If the weather's bad, I'm in that Escalade.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Ferrari and the Lamborghini are never driven.
No, you just don't
It's
drive
just
them very
reality. I
often.
just don't drive them. I just
No.
don't drive them. And if I'm going to get in a 2-seater car, I get in the Ferrari.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably should sell the Lambo. Really,
Yeah. But you could just give it to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a piece of shit anyway, man. I mean, let's be honest.
I said by comparison.
embarrassing.
By comparison.
I'm
By
embarrassed.
comparison.
I'm embarrassed you have it.
By
man.
comparison. I'm just
I'm
saying.
embarrassed you have that
I'm
car.
just
man.
saying,
You
right?
should give it to me. Just
Right, I
be
mean,
done with that. Aren't you humiliated now?
Oh my gosh. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying.
I hear
if
you.
you're comparing,
I'm
a
just
piece
giving
of
you shit.
equipment, right?
No, I'm just having fun with you, man. That's
you
great.
know.
That's great. You had a question, Rich, that I thought was a good question.
I was still wrapping my brain around all the cars, man. And, if it's raining outside, I'm gonna take the Escalade. And I'm
What
like,
do you take if it's raining? Rich?
the Buick.
It's not your.
It's the Ferrari of grandma cars, okay?
It's not your father's Buick, dude.
Right.
All right? It has
No, it
changed.
is.
The Buick has
No,
changed.
His is fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
You
it was
get
from '98, man. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Stop. Rich, you had a question.
Only question I have to ask when I start up my car is, do I have enough gas to make it there, or am I gonna have to figure something out along the way?
Hey, we all got to start somewhere. Okay. hey. My first car was a 1960 something Buick Skylark. Okay, it had a door on it longer than this building.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
that. I know that
All right?
model. That's
The
like
colors
my
were.
Grand Prix.
Oh my gosh! Back in the '60s, I'd got it used, barely running. The colors were rust and rust.
Yeah.
You could pick up the floor mat on the driver's side and see the ground.
And see the ground. Yeah.
I put 50 weight oil in it, dude, and carried an oil pan around in the trunk. Okay. When I parked somewhere, I'd slide the oil pan under to catch
So
the
you
oil.
catch the
Right,
and pour it
right.
back in.
Then the next day I'd pour the oil back in that thing and drive. But it got me from A to B.
Yeah.
Right,
No, I
right.
have a
And you
lot
could
of
throw
those.
massive amounts of equipment in the trunk, bro, because
No.
the trunk would hold like a dozen dead bodies.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's a 12
Right?
body trunk for sure. Yeah,
Right.
no, those would carry a lot. That was a
Right.
mob car. For
Right,
sure.
and I was, a teenager, and everybody drove that car, man. The keys just stayed in it.
Yeah.
On the seat. Everybody drove it. I remember
It's like a tank, man.
I was like 15. I had this girlfriend that was like 14, right?
Yeah.
She drove it all over the place. Didn't have a driver's license. Drove it everywhere. I mean, what's going to happen, right? I mean, how can you tear up this piece of rust?
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
Oh, my God.
So your question.
That was my first ride, dude.
Tell me your question.
So my question was, because we were talking way earlier on before we got into
Yes.
Lamborghinis and
Yes,
Ferraris
yes,
and all
yes,
that.
yes.
You were talking about movie theaters?
Yes,
And that
yes.
you're in the business. So
Yes.
man, I just had to ask, give us the life hack, man. What's the secret on the movie theater butter on the popcorn?
Oh, wow. It's coconut butter, really. And,
Yeah, for real?
It is.
Okay.
It's cooked. The true secret is cooking it in coconut oil. That's the true secret.
Okay.
Right?
Really?
So, yeah, you cook it in coconut oil, and then you've got this huge, big kettle, and you make it, and you have made so much. You get the oil mix right, and you get the salt mix right, and that's what makes it come out. But it's actually cooked in coconut oil.
Oh,
That's
damn.
the
Okay,
Yeah,
there
you
is a
actually learned
trick,
something.
right?
That's the key.
Hey,
yeah.
hey, rack that one.
Right, that was a good one, man.
No, that clip right there is TikTok gold.
For
Rack
sure.
that shit up.
It's
For
it's
sure.
coconut. It's
Yeah.
it's a coconut. Yeah, and a lot of people talk about how unhealthy that is, but I mean, how often in a year do you
Right.
go to a cinema?
Right.
And
You're
how
not
often
eating
do you eat the
dinner there every
popcorn?
night
You're
eating
not.
popcorn.
You're
I mean,
not. It's
Well, I mean, every microwavable popcorn brand out there advertised as
most-
movie theater
let's
butter.
be-
It's
it ain't.
never movie
It ain't.
theater butter.
Let's be honest. 90% of the shit everybody eats is not healthy.
Well, of course,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work out with a trainer, and my trainer, people talk about the holidays and how bad the holidays are between Thanksgiving and New Year's, and everything that they eat at Christmas and Thanksgiving, everything they eat and drink at New Year's,
Yeah.
right? It's like my trainer says, it's what you eat the other 300 days of the year, bro.
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
not
not.
that. It's not
Right.
Thanksgiving
No.
to January 2nd that's
No,
killing you.
that
It's
is
the
my-
other 300 days.
No, that didn't make you a fat ass. No, that's-
The popcorn's not doing it.
No.
Have the popcorn.
yeah, no, you're exactly right. You're
Little-
exactly right.
Little doggy in comments, as you can see up there. We have YouTube. If they're viewing on YouTube or anywhere really, they can comment in. But YouTube is kind of the show within the show. But he says we need to ask you about your guitars.
Yeah, got a lot of guitars. Got
Is there a
guitar
Ferrari of a
collection.
guitar?
Well, I mean, I would say
Les
everybody.
Paul or Fender Strat, maybe?
No, Gibson, definitely Gibson.
You go
Every-
Gibson?
Les Paul.
Everybody would say Gibson. Everybody would say Les Paul. Absolutely.
I mean, that's top of the line, I guess. Yeah.
Yes. I've got a lot of guitars and just a lot
But
of
do you
guitars.
play them?
Yes, and
Okay.
yes, and
You can play actually.
Yes,
Okay.
and I've got a lot of guitars that are special to me because various artists have signed those guitars or give
Yeah.
me those guitars. I have a lot of those, and obviously I don't play those, but I
Right.
think Gibson is the Ferrari of guitars. There's no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
and Gibson is more of a player's guitar. That solid body Gibson. You're
Those
talking
real
about
clean
talking about the Les
notes, real
Paul.
clean
yeah,
sound.
I mean. Yes, and I think Fender is more of kind of maybe a songwriter's guitar, a singer-songwriter's guitar, as opposed to just something that you're beating out on stage.
Yeah.
You know, Gibson is to me the far superior product, right? So yes, Gibson, and yes, the Les Paul. But no, I've got, you know, everybody sign one for me. Everybody that won't get to sign one for me.
Yeah.
And I don't touch those. You
No,
know,
I
I've
wouldn't
just
either.
got them
I
hanging.
wouldn't
Right,
either.
man,
Those
that's
are just
awesome.
showpieces.
So,
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely.
That's
But
cool.
yes, if we got Gibson. Gibson. I guess I should I be looking over here instead of
No,
you
you,
guys?
I mean, wherever, man.
It doesn't matter.
Don't want to
You-
be messing you guys up.
No, you're not.
Messing up the program.
You're not at all, man. That's great. So let me ask you, what is it that, as far as something that you want, that you're doing, you've got a business, you've got something that you
Right.
want people to come and see or patronize or do. How can these folks get involved in what you're doing and support you?
Oh, okay. Well,
Because
you know,
clearly he needs it.
you're funny, man. It's killing me. I mean, locally,
Yeah.
you know, I have the movie theaters, which is
Yeah.
what is my default setting. I mean,
Yeah.
I have other investments, but that's other things that I do, other avenues of revenue, if
Right.
you will. But that's kind of the local thing that you could patronize or visit.
Yeah.
And you know, you can go to the movies, and you can hit the websites. In Little Rock, it's Riverdale 10, Riverdale10.com,
Okay.
Riverdale10.com. In Searcy, it's SearcyCinema.com.
Okay.
Batesville is Oaks, VIPcinema.com.
Okay.
In Cabot, it's Cabot, VIPcinema.com. And then in Hot Springs, it's both theaters in Hot Springs, VIPcinema.com and CentralCity10.com. And Riverdale and Little Rock features alcohol. Hot Springs 8 in Hot Springs has alcohol. Cabot 8 in Cabot has alcohol. They all have a food menu. You know,
Right.
you can get chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders, pizza, and that's all fresh made to order.
Yeah.
You know,
Good stuff.
Nachos, you know, Nathan's hot dogs, State Fair
Yeah.
corn dogs, you know, Eisenberg sausages, you know, and just a full array of your traditional foods, popcorn, candy, soda, things like that. That's available at all of them. And they're all playing first run Hollywood features. We got 7.1 surround sound,
Let me-
Dolby, and, you know, digital projectors.
Let me ask you this:
Yes.
as something that's all of a sudden, you know, really online, it seems
Yes.
big. I don't know if it's really big,
Okay.
but are these popcorn buckets that are,
Yes.
you know, special type buckets and whatnot? Is this really as big as they make it out to be online? Are people really jonesing? They're excited about these buckets. They're buying these buckets. What's
Well,
the story?
We have a branded bucket, and it is our annual popcorn bucket. It's the TGI Theater Group Inc. popcorn bucket, and you can take that popcorn bucket to all 6 locations in Arkansas. You buy the popcorn bucket; it's good for a year, and you can get it refilled for $5. It's 200 ounces of popcorn.
Well, now that's a deal.
Yeah.
You can buy that at any
Now,
location.
see, that's not what I'm talking
No,
about.
you're talking about the theme ones.
Yeah, the
you
theme.
can buy that in any location, and you can take it around to the 6 locations and
That's
get
a
it filled
much
up for
better
$5.
deal.
If you're going to go to the movies 2 times in a year,
It's paid
you
for
need to
itself.
buy that bucket because
Yeah.
I mean, because you know if you're going to the cinema, how expensive popcorn is.
Of course.
That's how you pay the bills. Just selling food. Just like
Yeah.
if you go to a music venue, alcohol sales pay the bills.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, if you go to a cinema, food sales pay the bills.
Right.
You know, so that's the bucket that we have. We offer that bucket. You can use it at all 6 locations: Batesville, Searcy, Cabot, Hot Springs, both theaters in Hot Springs, and of course in Little Rock at the Riverdale 10. And yes, that is a bargain. That's a deal. It's
Yeah.
the refillable bucket. Now you're talking about the theme bucket. Whatever movie is coming out, you know, if that's Jurassic Park, if
Right.
that's the new Superman movie, if that's Lilo and Stitch,
Yeah.
okay, there are some hardcore fans that live it. That's their thing.
They want
okay?
that bucket.
They live that movie.
Yeah.
And they just got a veiner going on for it.
Yeah.
That's their thing. They are a Marvel Cinematic Universe person.
Yeah.
They are a DC Comics person.
Yeah.
They are a Disney person.
Yeah.
They want it all. They want the poster. They want the action figures. They want the T-shirts. They want the hats. They want the blankets. And if there's a drink cup or a popcorn cup, bucket or something that goes with that movie, they're on it. But now that's your rabid fans. That is not the general public, right? So it has an obsessiveness to
So
it.
there is a place for it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
people collect those things, and then the people that are just fired up and excited about it, They're posting about it on TikTok. They're
Yeah.
posting about it on Instagram
So
because
it
that's
becomes
their thing.
promotional,
They
yeah.
want that bucket, and they
Yeah.
want, you know, and
Okay.
if it's a dinosaur T-Rex head for the Jurassic Park movie, they want it. But they've also got the drink cup, the T-shirt, the keychain, the button,
Yeah.
the poster, the action figure,
And
the,
no date.
whatever's selling at Walmart, you know, whatever's selling at Walmart, they got that too.
Yeah.
You know, but it is very. You know, we have sold some of those. I'll give you a prime example: the Taylor Swift thing. Mm-hmm. You know, people are rabid for the Taylor Swift
bet
movie.
they are.
They were rabid for that Taylor Swift movie
Yeah.
when it came out. People were just rabid for it and going insane to see that Taylor Swift movie.
Yeah.
And it came out kind of closer to the pandemic times.
Rich, what did you see it 3-5 times?
At least.
Yeah.
Oh
Doesn't.
boy! Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Not your father's Taylor Swift. Okay, you know, I'm just like, okay, man, what are we gonna do with Rich, man? I don't even know over here. But anyway, they were in love with the Taylor Swift movie, and so we got some of that stuff for them, right? And the hardcore fans packed in that Friday night
Yeah.
and bought that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then after that, other people came to watch the Taylor Swift movie, but didn't really want to buy the gear.
Yeah.
You know, so it is not a casual fan thing.
Right.
Yes, it's a thing, but it's a I'm hardcore into it thing.
All right. Before we wrap up.
Oh, we're wrapping. Okay.
Yeah, I got one more question for you here.
Sure.
Yeah, because I've got some other segments I got to
Okay,
get to
gotcha.
today.
All
But
right, okay.
what about the movie posters when you're done? What
Yes.
happens to those movie posters?
You know, that is a big deal to the staff.
Yeah, I bet it is.
It is a big deal. And if you work at a cinema, you know, odds are, you know, especially if you're one of the young people working at a cinema, you went to work there because you can watch free movies,
Yeah.
you get free soda, and you get free popcorn.
And you want a bag of movie posters.
You're deep into it, man. And those people that work at the cinemas want to take those posters home
I
and
figured that was
decorate their
probably
house.
the
It is a
case.
big deal with the staff.
You know, it'd be cool to, because I would never want to rob them of that. And I can see what an excellent incentive that is.
love it.
because
They love it.
because it's already covered, and the perceived value is high. So that's a great employee incentive.
Well, I mean,
but-
if you work there, if you apply to work at the cinema,
Mm-hmm.
you're not just looking for a job. You really want to be at the movies.
Yeah, no,
it's a
it's-
nights, weekends, and holidays thing.
Yeah, no,
and
you're
you're
right.
somebody that's deep into movies.
Yeah.
And that's why you're applying for that job.
If you have like a tent pole type blockbuster and you
Sure.
get an extra poster, maybe we could work something out once a year with a good one that we could do a promotion with of some kind.
Oh, hey, yeah. I mean, we can do something. We
You
can
know,
waste some movie tickets or something.
I don't want to take away from anybody.
I'd
there.
get you an extra.
Yeah,
You know,
but we could figure
I
something.
can get some
out.
movie tickets over here. You know.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
I can come back on sometime. We
Yeah,
can
no, we'd love to have you back
shoot,
on.
shoot the shit again. you know.
No, we'd love to have you back on. If you want to come in every couple of months and hang out and tell us what's going on in your world, we'll do the update with you for
Glad to
sure
be
about
here.
the new rides and the new
to be here.
this and the new guitars and new stars and
2 weeks
whatever it
from
is.
now, I just went out and bought me a yacht. It's the Ferrari of yachts. I'm telling you, man.
No, he's already got 2 of those.
Oh, see?
That's killing me.
I know, right?
There's probably a Buick yacht out there we don't even know about, right? Somebody's on it.
No,
right
in
now.
all honesty, the Buick got totaled last week. So.
No, he totaled his land yacht.
Yeah.
That's what
No,
that was.
no,
Yeah.
no.
But he's right.
It's all right. I upgraded.
What happened? What happened?
I let my let my cousin drive it. And borrow it over the
No,
weekend.
not the
and-
cousin.
Yeah.
Happened.
Yeah, I got the call about 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, man, I was involved in an accident, and your car is done for.
Oh man.
All right, man. Let's.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's play.
Hey, man, it's great hanging out with you for real.
Glad to be here. I'll be back.
All right, here we go.
I'm still fucking wrecked. Can't believe it's true. Never thought my soul would be crushed by you. I remember you standing there, telling me about how you care, that you'll stand by me anytime, anywhere. But that all changed at 9:07 p.m. Wouldn't believe you'd betray me until I walked in. In just a few seconds, you burned me to the core. You didn't even bother to close the door. Maybe I should have guessed by the way you dressed. Should I have gotten bent because you wore a new scent? I just figured just my imagination. I thought I should just ignore, but that all changed at 9:07 p.m. Wouldn't believe you'd betray me until I walked in. In just a few seconds, you burned me to the core. You didn't even bother to close the door. Now you're screaming, it's all my fault. You may appear to be a woman, but you're all assault. Hope it was worth wiping out everything I held true. I guess the trash takes itself out. Nothing left to love but an old tattoo. But that all changed at 9:07 p.m. Wouldn't believe you'd betray me until I walked in. In just a few seconds, you burned me to the core. You didn't even bother to close the door.
My buddy just dropped 50K. Says his new challenger will blow me away. Coming down the street at Deep Mopar Rumble. Love my bro, but gotta make him humble. Yeah. You rolling up in a candy new whip. Tapping on the gas, make the RPMs flip. A checkered flag appointment, I'll never be late. Cause that bitch is rocking a super sport plate. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with a Challenger, Camaro or Mustang with a big old tail. But not a one of them better than my 71 Chevelle. Yeah. Chrome skull shifter ready for the push. Bored out, lower snout raised up in the tush. It'll Brock and double pump Holly. Off the line so fast, warps time like Dolly. Ain't nothing wrong with the Challenger, Camaro or Mustang with a big old tail. But not a one of them better than my 7-in-1 Chevelle. Whoa, yeah. We can go an eighth, quarter, or the full M. No matter what you choose, your outcome is grim. You say my baby got that old engine smell, but that's the sweet perfume of a 71 Chevelle. Ain't nothing wrong with the Challenger, Camaro or Mustang with a big old tail. But not a one of them better than my 7-in-1 Chevelle. Bring the pink slip next time, bro.
Well, we're back.
We're back, man.
That was quite an interesting interview.
That was, man. That was cool hanging out with him.
You don't always get to talk to the other side.
They
You
saw
know, the
us.
folks that live a different way.
All right, I was gonna say, yeah, little dog.
I almost caught him though, and I almost had him giving me that Lambo, man. It was close. I know you had to think of it. It's like, well, relatively.
Right, yeah, relatively, yeah.
Almost.
In comments, little dog, they saw us taking pictures at
Yeah.
the end, while we were on break.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Little doggy said, little did he know the money pick was with Rich Rockwell.
No, that's true. That is the upward stock.
Yeah.
That's the stock that's moving up.
All right,
for
I
sure.
said, man, you missed your opportunity
Yeah,
with
no.
the Ferrari of podcast
That's
co-hosts
correct.
here, man.
That is right. That is absolutely right. Yes. I agree 100% with that statement. Yeah. Andy, I know you've been waiting. So
Yeah, man, they're ferocious today.
let's not make them wait.
He's Patrick, he's an angry SOB. Patrick, are you freaking kidding me? Patrick, right here on PATB. Sung it, man, this guy is really pissed.
Yep.
Angry Patrick.
Yep, it's time for a full-on rant. Salt Lake City's busy 911 center wants to try computer smarts to help with its call overload. Now, the idea is to buy AI software that would pick up 30% of the 450,000 calls it gets each year. The council member, Darren Mono, backs the plan, wants a strong public notice so no one panics when an AI voice answers. Officials promise the tool will switch to a human whenever it senses stress or confusion. Now, see, make note of this, cities around the nation. This is how you use technology to make our lives better. Are you freaking kidding? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the national finals for the world's worst ideas 2025. I mean, this is a worse idea than Diddy buying pallets of baby oil from Costco. Do I want to use my real name to buy 7,000 bottles of baby oil? Why wouldn't I? AI answering 911 calls is a worse idea than crawfish-scented tampons. You ever tried talking to the AI at your pharmacy? Now imagine you're calling 911. The AI says, 911, what's the nature of your problem? To which you whisper, there's someone in my house with a knife. They're going to kill me. And it says, did you say you're out with your wife and Will D? What? No, someone broke in and they're going to stab me. Did you say someone broke in and took your crab meat? No, I said, stab me. You're so mad you forget you're hiding. By the time the killer opens the door, you're like, shit, at this point, I'm happy to be put out of my misery. Is this like a low-key population control thing? You're going to call in and say, I'm sorry, this is the purge hour in your neighborhood. We do wish you luck. Maybe hide under the bed. Thanks for calling 911. I can't wait to call and say, I've been shot and I need help. Thank you, Patrick. You're on pot and you need help. Press 1 or say yes. No, I've been shot. Our apologies. At 911, we strive to make it the best experience. So you said you need the shot. It's in the COVID vaccine. You can get that at a pharmacy or local PCP. Someone fill me with hot lead. For lead paint removal, please call a local contractor. 911 doesn't mitigate home repair issues. By then, you bled out all over the floor, passed out to hang out with Jesus at the after party. In all honesty, it does sound like fun. Do you think heaven has ecstasy? Ask it for a friend. Next up, you may or may not have heard of Christina Formella. She's a high school teacher from the Chicago area. She's been accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student starting when he was 14. He said they've had sex close to 50 times. While that's news, the big story is that her husband, Michael, has stated he's standing by her, and they arrived at court hearing holding hands. Now that right there, that's what you call true love. Are you freaking kidding? Michael, is it okay if I refer to you as Senior Tardbart? Question 1, Senior Tardbart. How does one get their big dumb head such a great distance up one's own ass? I mean, let's be honest, your head's so far up your ass, you need to point-to-point GPS directions to get it out. Turn left at the spleen. I get being a good Christian and practicing forgiveness. And if she did it like once or twice, yeah, maybe you have to consider keeping the family together and working through it. But I'm not sure. But 45 mother-loving times, even Jesus is like, how many times 45? Tell him to bounce on that trick. 45? I can turn water into wine, but I can't stop Robo-O. Look, I'm Jesus. I see a lot of shit. I'm keeping it real, but 45 times, you didn't even notice her mommy box looked like it went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson? You never one time saw a piece of yellow caution tape across her nether region that said, closed for maintenance? You never once said, hey, babe, how much tutoring do you think Billy needs? And do you think his parents are offended that your thong is popping out of that miniskirt 45 times, bro? Think about a dozen donuts. Multiply that times 4. Now, while you eat the 3 extra, the rest are a visual of how many times your wife allowed him to invade Vaginistan. Each one of those donuts in front of you equals another thrilling ride on his boner coaster. The dude has a backpack and a locker combination, and he's over there on time number 37 playing bend over, touch your toes, and I'll show you where the monster goes. And here you are in absolute full bitch mode saying, I forgive you. Look, if she accidentally shot someone in the heat of the moment, maybe you stick it out. If she pulled out an AK and killed 45 people in the mall, I mean, stupidity isn't a crime, so you're free to go. But know this, Jesus may love you. The rest of us think you're a knuckle-dragging, window-licking lunatic and the textbook example of a panty wad. Nonetheless, we all wish you good cuck. I mean, good luck. I'm sorry, good luck. Apologize for that. Finally, prominent podcasters like Joe Rogan and Patrick and the People are playing a bigger role in news dissemination in the United States, as are AI chatbots, contributing, it says, to the erosion of traditional media, according to a report released on Tuesday. In the week following the January presidential inauguration, more Americans got their news from social and video networks than from TV and news websites and apps. The first time this has ever happened, the report said. I don't know about you, but I'm in absolute shock about this. Are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me the people that don't trust the media? I can't believe it. In other news, water's wet, grass is green, and Kid Rock might give you an STD. Who is shocked by this other than the water-carrying sellout dick bags in the media? They weren't so busy polishing the balls of their favorite political party. They might have a chance to look in the mirror and say, oh, snap, I'm on TV gargling yam bags instead of telling the truth. And don't even sit there and point at one side when you know, just like Timothy Chalamet, they go both ways. All right, I'm not sure if that's true. But I mean, come on, look at his soft skin and little curls. Tell me you never wondered if he's as comfortable with hot dogs as he is tacos. But I digress. Of course people aren't watching the news. Let's put this in perspective. If you're dating someone who is, let's say, slightly attractive, but not hot at all, you've been faithful, you've given everything to the relationship, only to find out that 90% of the shit she said wasn't true. She don't have a job. Her dad's not a CEO. She don't even like sex that much. And you think she may be stealing money from your wallet. And just yesterday, she revealed she has a glass eye. Just popped it out right there at the breakfast table. Are you going to keep dating her? If you want to date that person, go ahead. But you know you're every bit as toxic as her because you know the damn truth. That is it. I'm done with that rant. All right, man.
Robo-ho.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, my friend. That is good.
That was a good one, man.
That was a solid.
That was, man. That was
That was number. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you. 819. We're at 819. And
man,
right there.
819. That's one for the books for sure.
Well, thank you, man.
Got a little extra punch to
Little
it.
dog.
Today.
He said he liked yam bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always one of my favorites. I like to use that around the house.
Tactical said, bet Mr. Cook would believe it. Sounds like he'd believe about anything.
Yeah, no, he definitely, his wife loves him for sure. It's only 45 times, honey. I mean, that's.
Right. I mean,
45 times, bro. I mean, they were banging everywhere, bro.
on the desk, on the chalkboard, on the.
I guarantee it wasn't the kid that snitched this time.
Right.
No, he kept his mouth shut for at least 44 times. He was a good dude. He didn't snitch at all. He's like, no, I'm riding this all the way. And he did. 14, she started. And the husband, no, I'll stand by her. What are you talking about?
Right.
What do you, she's banging.
He's got to be
kids,
just
bro.
holding on to that for a card
He's
to play
gotta-
later. That's the, all right. Eventually payback's going to come.
I
But
didn't see a picture of him, but I don't have faith he's a nice looking dude.
I mean, there's got to be something going
There's just
there.
something in his self esteem that's way broken.
Right. That if you're going to, no, it's fine. Go ahead. I forgive you.
No,
It's all good.
It's great.
I understand. Things happen.
No, yeah, it's just
Maybe you should be a little more careful so you don't trip and fall on it 43
Yeah,
times.
yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
No, that's how it started, honey. We were
it.
just tutoring him on his homework, and then he pulled out his giant. It's way bigger than yours, honey. How old is he? He's 15 now. God. I mean, you talk about that dude. How is his self-esteem bagged? I mean, she's been hooking up with this dude for a kid.
Right.
Over her man. He's a full-grown man with a job. He doesn't have a backpack and a combination on a locker. He's not drinking chocolate milk at lunch. He's a goddamn man.
I mean, hey, man.
And he's got to look at this and go, what? Huh?
Some people really value them, free fry discounts at Wendy's or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be questioning
When you
my
say
life
you do it
choices.
for the kids, you're not
Right.
supposed to do it to the kids. That's what I'm saying,
That burned.
When you pee?
No, when the Mountain Dew,
Sorry.
goes, yeah, you're trying not to laugh at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was-
Hey, here's some news for you. The Cowboys cheerleaders are finally, it says, getting a significant bump in pay after years of lobbying. They have a series on Netflix called America's Sweethearts Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. It began streaming on Wednesday, apparently, but they're getting a 400% increase in pay.
Yeah, cool. Well,
Yeah. So are you excited about that?
I mean, sure, why not? I think
Well,
that
listen,
out of the Cowboys, I mean,
The
probably
former cheerleader Jada McLean said that in 2024 she was in her 5th year and she was making $15 an hour.
wow,
$15
Yeah,
an hour
that's-
to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
that's insane.
That's pretty low.
Yeah. Especially
say
when,
it
the
like that.
cheerleaders are pretty much the best thing going for the Cowboys.
They are by far. I would rather you put them on the field.
Right, like at this point,
Right,
seriously.
put the Cowboys on at halftime. Let the cheerleaders have the 4 quarters.
Right.
Just switch it around. It'd be a lot better. Yeah. I was shocked about the $15 an hour was crazy.
That is, man.
I mean, just think about that for a minute. Now it says they'll be making about $75 an hour,
Oh, okay.
60 to 75 an hour.
Well, good
But
for them.
that's a much.
That is though, $15 an hour.
It
Jesus.
seems insulting almost, doesn't it?
Especially for, I mean, it's not easy to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. I mean, from what I've heard and seen
Yeah.
through, and
I don't-
I don't know from experience, but
Right.
my mom was really into that. They had a reality show for a while.
Yeah, they still do.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Again, this is how much I know about the
Okay.
Cowboy cheerleaders, but.
Is it your mom's into it? You said.
Yeah, she loves that show, and she'd, call me up, and of course they're in Michigan, so,
Yeah.
just conversations with her son. Oh, I saw the Dallas, and they've got so-and-so, and
Oh,
okay,
yeah?
Mom, and yeah, that sounds crazy. It's,
I don't know if they still, it used to be they'd have posters, calendars of those cheerleaders.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still cool now, but I don't even know if people put posters on their walls anymore. Do kids do that anymore? Do they even sell them anymore? I mean,
maybe.
it used to be everything when you were a kid.
Yeah,
Posters
to go
on
get a
your wall.
poster, yeah.
That's what told people who you were, right?
Right?
I mean, how else would they know
That's
what,
yeah.
what bands you like or what stupid commercials you like or what sayings
I
you
mean,
like? You
I always
had it
liked
on
the
your wall.
blacklight posters.
Did you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were always.
Those are cool, man.
I mean,
they were cool. Yeah, I didn't have a black light. I was too poor.
No.
Why don't you go hang out with me?
Well, let me tell you, man, it was the Ferrari of DJ lights to have.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, man. All right, I'm going to give you a choice, Rich, here. Okay?
All right.
I give you 3 things that I've got, and you tell me which one we should do.
Okay.
Okay. What Americans think life will be like in 2065.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2 is modern addictions nobody talks about.
Okay.
And number 3 is the most unhinged baby names hospital nurses have heard.
Oh man, that's a toss-up. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. What Americans think life will be like in 2065.
I think I want to hear that one. Yeah,
That's
the
what
baby
we're
names and the what's a modern?
addiction?
I mean,
Okay.
I could name those off the top of my head.
Good enough. That's fair enough then. All right. So when everybody was a kid, we spent a lot of time probably thinking about what the future is going to be like. Hell,
Right.
we still think about it now. I do. Can you imagine what life will be like in 2065? That's what a new survey asked 2,000 Americans, and the response gives a pretty interesting idea of what the future could hold anyway.
Okay.
So
many think-
predictions for what life will look like 40 years from now include nearly half of Gen Z doesn't think retirement will be an option for most of us in 2065.
I mean, fair enough.
Could be. I mean, why do you need to retire? Are you lazy? Huh?
We want to be able to enjoy our, golden years too.
Enjoy your golden years as a greeter. Getting to meet a lot of people. It's an honor to do it.
Besides, man, probably by then, we'll have transhumans and live until
Yeah,
350,
definitely.
man.
Yeah,
So
no,
there's no retirement.
You're going to have an AI body or something. 51% think there will be a digital alternative to help meet the needs of those struggling to afford care in their golden years. So it could
Digital,
be a robo nurse, a bot.
Okay.
Or something of that nature. Yeah. Only 35% of those who don't own a home now believe they ever will, and 25% expect they'll have to rent for life.
Okay.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
That's definitely not true, and you don't have to, and you shouldn't, by the way. I didn't know that was in here, but I'll tell you this. Last three, one got in for $900, one was $500, and another one $500 right at that to get into a home. So, yeah, you can.
I honestly think, and kind of go off that a little bit, because I know it's one of my things. I think, honestly, it is a misconception or misunderstanding about how the whole down payment thing
That
works.
is exactly what it is, Rich. So many people still think, oh, I got to have a huge down payment.
Right, because I sit there and go, dude, there's no way I'm ever going to save $10,000 to buy a house.
Well, think about this. I mean, if you were going to buy, let's say, a $300,000 home, okay, the median, by the way, in the country is $400 now.
Okay. That's surprising. Yeah,
That's crazy. Isn't
Yeah.
it? But let's say you're going to buy a $300,000 house. It's a very nice house, okay? 20% of that is what? $60,000.
Okay,
You
right.
got $60,000?
No,
No,
not even close.
90+% of people don't have $60,000.
Right.
It's not reasonable.
Right.
So if you just had marginal credit and you could only be approved for a particular kind of loan with 20% down, but that's rare. If you're qualified, you're probably qualified to take advantage of all the different things that are out there. But even no matter how you go, most of the time, overwhelmingly, 3.5% is the down payment.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
which
big
is,
difference.
Yeah, from 10%, 20%.
Yeah. So, if you got a $200,000 home, all right, so that's about $5,000 to $6,000 down, right?
And that's certainly more obtainable.
That's obtainable. Then, there are down payment assistance programs. There are grants.
Right.
There are all kinds of things. A lot of times, if you have a good agent, I don't know. Let me see. Any good
Do you know of any
raise
good
their
real
hand.
estate
Raise your
agents
hand
in the
if you're a
room?
great real estate agent. Anyway, sometimes you can get your closing costs paid by the seller.
Gotcha.
And that's what I work a lot with, first-time buyers who are in that situation where they need that help.
Right.
And that's what we do, and that's why we're able to do that. So don't be fooled to think you have to have a giant down payment. Now, having said that, you also have to decide what monthly payment is good for me.
Yeah.
Now sometimes people will find, oh, well, that payment's a little high. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily, but it could be for you. If you want to put more down, you can lower that.
Right. You can kind of control
Yeah.
how much your payment is going to be to an extent.
Interest rates determine a lot of things, but this is another thing where people are there's sometimes they've heard something from somebody and
Right.
they take it as gospel.
Yeah.
Because intuitively it seems right, which is the interest rate's too high. I should not buy now.
Gotcha.
Okay. And maybe that could be true, but here's the reality. The reality is when interest rates are high, prices go
low.
down.
Yeah.
When interest rates are low, prices go up. Okay, so if you finance a house with a little bit higher rate than what you might get in a year,
Right.
you can refinance that and get that lower rate. You know what you can't do? You can't go back and take money off the price of the house.
Right. Right.
You can't.
So on the initial of buying the house, one way or the other, it's all going to come out
It's going
even
to
in the
come out
wash.
in the wash.
Right.
It really, most of the time it is.
Right.
But if you finance at a little bit higher rate, you can refinance. Like I said, as long as you make your payments on time,
Right.
within 2 years or less, you can refinance that and get a lower rate.
Absolutely,
As
I
long
got
as that
you.
rate's available.
Right.
But you'll never be able to go back and go, I want to pay less for this house.
Yeah.
5 years later, I want to pay less for this.
Can you just knock like 20 or
Yeah,
30,000 off
no,
of it?
but you can do that right now because it's kind of a buyer market right now.
Right.
It's edged just slightly advantage buyer, not totally,
Right.
but slightly, and so there's some things you can get done right now.
Good to know.
So yeah, but anyways, we signed.
Yeah, we went off. Yeah, but you're good.
Resident, let's do this. Of course, we're going to need to make a lot more money to afford these things. The average household income predicted to be $508,000 in 2065. That's slightly higher than today's 80,000.
What
Yeah,
is the average?
I don't even know if that's I
The
don't
average
believe that's-
housold income.
I don't believe the average
80,
household.
yeah,
income
it
is
can't
80.
be.
I don't think so.
No, at least not in Arkansas.
Somehow people think the work week and with all that extra money will be 30 hours or 4 days a week. Which
I
is
mean, I
probably-
could see
I
that
do see
happening.
happening. I do see
It's
that.
already being talked about and thrown
Some
around.
people are doing it. Some people are trying it. I think it's smart. I think it's going to happen.
Was it in Europe or whatever, UK, that they only have? I know somewhere only has
Some-
40.
Yeah, they do that in some of those places. But I think here that you're going to see that sooner than later.
Yeah.
All right.
What else do they say it's going to look like? No, flying cars and everything.
Yeah, this looks more like a bunch of.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't pick right, man. I was more
No.
intrigued in it than
I thought it was going to be much more exciting than
I
that.
thought so, it was
Robots,
just kind of
flying
like,
cars, robo-sex. I mean, all these things I expected to be in there,
Right.
and they weren't. So now we're going to have to do something.
there'll be robo massage parlors on every
Yeah,
corner next
that's
to your
right.
Starbucks. You
So
know,
we're going to have to make up for it with this then. That's right.
Listen up now, I'll tell you a story. Without a doubt, it's kinda gory. It's the worst news you could ever hear. Things just like this make you fear. Lying lunched on a dumb guy's knee, or a big hard fuck drowning some honey. Why you laughing? Why you laughing? This shit ain't funny.
I don't know, Lou.
It
might be, Lou. It could very well be. To be honest, today there's some in here that you shouldn't laugh. I'll just be honest. You shouldn't. If you're a good person, you won't.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start here. Let's start with it's North Carolina. A girl injured last weekend after coming in contact with an alligator
ooh,
while she and a group of kids were swimming in Lake Waccamaw.
that's a heck of a name for a lake.
Lake Whack-A-Mole.
All right.
Lake Waccamaw Police Department announced on Friday saying multiple kids were playing in about 4 feet of water when a 12-year-old yelled, "Something bit me."
Oh,
The kids rushed out of the water, at which point an alligator surfaced in the shallow water. The injuries were serious. They weren't life-threatening, but they said it's unclear as to if the injuries were caused by the bite or the claw, but they were definitely caused by the alligator. The Wildlife Resource Commission came in, and it was a 12-foot male alligator.
oh my gosh.
Can you imagine if that thing had really just latched on?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, that's crazy, man. This is a place everybody goes. All the kids are swimming.
This
it's a
is like the
swimming
cool
park.
hangout, the swimming
It's a
hole.
swimming park.
I mean,
And somehow a 12-foot gator slips in.
again, like any body of water, you can never be too careful, but still, like,
Yeah, but you don't
Holy-
expect a shark in the swimming pool.
I mean, I agree, but
I don't look in the swimming pool and go, "Hey, is there a great white in there today?"
well, apparently you should.
Yeah, no, I guess I will from now on.
Didn't you hear? They're falling from the sky, man.
Clearly, they are. All right, here we go. This is bad. A California nudist accused of killing his neighbors, chopping them up,
What?
and then drowning their Shih Tzu after they mocked him with a $1 hot dog. What is your deal?
Just
What's your
listening,
problem,
man.
Was it the dollar hot dog that did it?
Gonna kill somebody over a $1 hot dog.
You don't know what happened.
I mean,
Redlands police announced the arrest of Mike Sparks, 62, 5 days after his neighbors went missing. They found him at his home. billed as a family-friendly RV park and reputed Southern California nudist resort. A cadaver dog alerted the police to the bunker underneath the home where they recovered 2 bodies, dismembered, mutilated, and put into airtight plastic bags.
Oh, all
You know, the
right.
kind you take the vacuum and
Oh,
seal it
okay.
up real
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
kind of hermetically seal the parts, which is a good idea. It's a good idea.
Especially if you just recently have killed somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The victims were Daniel Menard, 79. He suffered from dementia. And his 73-year-old wife, Stephanie. Investigators had to evacuate the scene. They feared it might cave in. They returned with heavy equipment to excavate and collect more evidence. So Sparks tried to shoot himself before his capture, but the gun misfired. The dog Cuddles remains unaccounted for. The dog is missing. You're such a sick bastard. At the preliminary hearing this week, Detective Williams testified he shared details about the slayings with a jailhouse snitch who alerted authorities. He said Mr. Sparks told him the incident started over a hot dog that Daniel Menard had purchased for him. He said that Mr. Sparks felt that the hot dog was a jab at him, making him feel like he was only worth $1 hot dog. That's what set him off. Yeah, you don't give me $1 hot dog, bitch.
Hey, man.
You bring me real hot dogs.
You know how many times I've worked for a hot dog and a handshake? I don't go around killing people.
Well, maybe you should. Sparks is accused of using a rake, a garden hoe, and a hammer to beat his neighbors to death
Jeez.
before dismembering them and hiding the bodies in the plastic bags in his bunker. The informant also claimed he admitted to drowning Cuddles and leaving her for the coyotes.
Oh, poor Cuddles.
11 witnesses testified. 11 witnesses.
Jeez.
including-
This just keeps getting deeper and deeper, man. Like,
Evidence included
More plot
crime
twists.
scene photos, texts between Sparks and 3 witnesses. In one photo, Sparks allegedly wrote to a friend, "Chopped up my neighbors, didn't know I had it in me. Snapped." Snapped.
snapped.
Snapped. Just snapped. Casual like that.
Just-
Didn't know I had it in me. Snapped.
And how 11 witness? What did he do? Call up all of his friends? Like, hey, you want to come on over and have a barbecue?
Hey, I'm
About
going to dismember these folks.
Right.
Hey, you got a chainsaw or no? Okay. During a standoff before the arrest, officers asked him where the Menards were and if they needed help. He replied back they were in pieces. Other witnesses said he didn't get along with them. Well, no shit. Thanks for that
You
testimony.
think? Yeah, you think they were good friends?
They had alleged disputes over a noisy backup generator, tree trimming, and finally, the $1 hot dog. Sparks faces 2 counts of murder and animal cruelty charges. He pleaded not guilty to an earlier proceeding as being held without bail.
Well-
Shockingly, that they are even holding him. I figured he could bail out for $500 and be back out.
Right. Just
This is at the nudist colony too.
I mean,
not
yeah,
only
it's
this,
getting
they're all,
wild out
they're
there.
all naked.
right.
Like I saw the victims here in a picture of them enclosed, and I'm like, the last thing I want to see is these people. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's Daniel and Stephanie. They're running around naked out there by the RV. That's not an attractive thing. to
Slinging
see.
their hot dogs
See, nudist
around.
colonies may sound in theory to be fun, but
Yeah.
if you
No.
get there,
No, but it's nothing you want to see.
no, you probably be the hottest one there. And that's going to be a problem for you. You know what I mean?
Good news is, hey, I mean, he got caught. He's probably going to prison, so he'll be able to get, all the hot dogs he wants.
Yeah, will they be $1 hot dogs, though?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
question. What do you think? Will they be $1 hot dogs?
Embarrassed. This is why you buy Ballpark.
All right, here's one more we'll do real quick.
All right.
An unhinged Lowe's employee shot and killed his coworker while he was operating a forklift during a shift at the store. Then bizarrely confessed to the murder in an email to HR. Wow. You emailed HR?
Right.
Chris
Just
Swarnetsky
wanted to let you know, so-and-so is not going to be in today.
unloaded multiple shots at 44-year-old Jeff Moeller while he was working at Lowe's in Scranton at 12:30 in the morning. Officers found him, a father of 3, was struck twice in the head, once in the back, and was in critical condition. He was alive? The responding officers rushed him to the hospital where he died, of course. Police quickly identified him, arrested him. He told police he was the one to call in the shootings and brazenly told the operator he was the person that did it. Then he sent an email to Lowe's management and HR before committing the shooting, stating what he was going to do, and it could have been avoided if someone had stepped in to address his earlier claims. He said the guy had been harassing him at work, and management had done nothing to resolve it.
Oh.
He said he'd been prepping to carry it out by doing target practice in his backyard with a 9mm. Well, if you're shooting him in the dome, I mean, how much practice do you need? He admitted that he shot him about 5 feet away. Yeah, you don't need a lot of practice for 5 feet, bro. He told investigators he shot him twice in the head to end his suffering. He said he planned to kill himself, but then backed out, which sounds different than the gun not working. So that's the dude died right there on the forklift, 12:30 in the morning at Lowe's. That's not a good way to go.
No.
On the forklift at Lowe's.
No.
No.
And not really, that great to, hey, since y'all won't take care of my complaints,
Yeah, that does seem like
I'm just gonna,
you could quit.
I'm gonna promote him to dead.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, like for real.
I could quit my job or I can murder them.
Right. That's the
No,
thinking.
I'm not going to quit. I put in too
I
much
need it,
time.
man. The benefits. I got a 401k
I mean,
now.
I can't lose my health benefits.
Right.
Shit's crazy, man.
I'm up for a raise. It's my employee review next week.
All right, so the Wise Guys tomorrow night. What time?
8 o'clock game kicks off. 7 o'clock doors open. There'll be the Bud Light party in the concourse. And
if you're a first responder or a medical person,
yep.
you can go online.
Yep.
And put your information in. You're going to get a free premium seat.
Yeah, let me see.
You
if I
understand that's a
can look it up
$25
here.
seat right in the front where the action is.
Oh, yeah.
Might even get a free football because if they go in the stage or in the
You get
stands,
to keep them as a
you get
souvenir.
to keep it.
Just not the players. We want those guys.
No, you have to give them back.
Right,
That's true.
But dude, that was almost like a thing that the crowd was working for at the first game, man. I mean, that one dude, I saw some clips. That one dude, like, the ball went over, he caught it, bobbled it, had a beer in the other hand, like, hit his table and still caught the ball one-handed, didn't spill a drop of his beer, man.
Now that's a pro.
It was good. I told him, I
That's a
said,
pro.
y'all may want to sign him.
Yeah, that's a pro. They need to put him on the team for sure. So what time does the game start, buddy?
Game will start at, I was just looking here.
Okay.
I believe it's 8:05 p.m. is when the game will start. That's when coin toss will happen.
Okay.
And they've got a special couple guests coming for the coin toss, some Razorback players. So
Oh, that's dope.
yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time.
Man, everybody get out and support that. And if you're looking to buy and or sell a house, I also do help people sell homes. Matter of fact, my most recent client, we put it on the market at the right price. 4 days later, it was under contract, and we're halfway to the deal now.
Yes, sir.
So I'd love to help you out. Thank you guys, as always, for being the greatest audience in the world. Thank you again, and my apologies to Jay and Julio and Susan and Cliff for the amazing show that never aired and never will. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Later.